He's an old friend of mine, and he's good with a gun.
George, he's a cannibal.
Nobody's perfect.
Why are you laughing? You're all animals.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hold it. She's just had a touch of reality. That's why I spend so little time there. I live in the land of the mushroom.
Hello, folks, and welcome to the City Podcast. It's been a while. I'm sorry since we recorded a show, but I'm here tonight, and I'm glad to say that I'm here with my brother, and we're in the Parade Way, as the titular theme music goes.
Yes.
John Cross, how are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. I'm good. And yes, we do now have theme music, which is very exciting. I presume that you enjoyed the little ditty I came up with for my show, and therefore you're willing to use it on your show.
It's equally screams brotherhood and homoeroticism. So
I went 80s power ballad with it. Yeah.
Oh, you got to do it, man. It sounds amazing.
If you're going to be in the Parade Way, I feel like 80s power ballad is right where you should be. You know what I mean? If I could write an Eddie and the Cruisers hit, I would, but I'll just go with innocuous power ballad instead. So yeah, we're in the Parade Way, and it's very exciting. And I said last episode that you find some gems when you go down a rabbit hole. I think we're already there. What do you think?
Oh yeah, for sure. We were just talking about just now, like what we do next on the diner, and there's some interesting stuff down the road that could be really good or could be really terrible, but we'll decide that when we get there.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if I've learned anything from the two films we're covering tonight, is that IMDb ratings mean nothing if the people rating those movies haven't seen a lot of those types of movies. I'll get into what I mean, but it seems to be like a lot of the people rating the films we're covering tonight have seen neither 80s and 90s action cliche tropes nor post-apocalyptic futuristic movies, because they seem to be rating these two movies way lower than I would.
Well, much like one of our heroes who's leather clad and denim clad, I am joined by one of my cats because she discovered my lap and now she's sitting there, so she's comfortable. So I'm a leather today. My gosh, but yeah, tonight we're here to talk about the Great Mecha Parade one feature, and then if you guys are listening to the diner on the last one, a great VHS feature, which is again, it can't be missed. These movies, I gotta say.
Good now. Yeah, we are four of us tonight, and you have your cat in your lap, so five of us, because Natty and Mabel have joined the podcast.
Amazing, very animally oriented show, and for good reason. Okay,
sorry. Let's right edit point. Right, in we go.
It's all good. I ask regular on the show. Anything interesting you've been watching lately? What you been watching, John?
Well, the two films obviously we're going to talk about tonight, I watched yesterday and today respectively. But I tell you what is exciting is I did just put together my top 10 for 2024 of new movies, and my top 20 rather of new watches in 2024. So they can be movies from any year, but they're ones that I watched the first time in 2024. So in terms of what I've been watching recently, though, I had a great screening of Deep Red or Profondo Rosso and Suspiria on Saturday night over in Seymour, Connecticut, where my friend Larry puts on retro double bills every other month. And my shop, Be Kind Movie Vault, sponsors those events. And I was the vendor. So each event that he does a screening, and he does 6 a year, he has a little vendor there down the front of the theater, one of the sponsors normally, and I'm a sponsor and a vendor. So I was there on Saturday night selling movies, VHS and DVDs, and watching some Dario Argento. And I have to say, man, although I'd seen Profondo Rosso on the big screen before and Suspiria on the big screen before, this screening, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether I'm older, wiser, or just more receptive, but I had a great time with both those movies. I've always loved Profondo Rosso. It's always been my favorite of the Argento movies. But Suspiria, I always struggled with. This time, I loved it. This time, I got totally into Suspiria. And boy, do the Goblin soundtracks of both those movies go incredibly hard. My goodness, the soundtrack to Profondo Rosso is just, it's so wild. It's so wild and in your face. Like that movie, talk about a movie not working without its soundtrack. Like that soundtrack, man, just makes that film from top to bottom. So that was a really good screening. So I can definitely recommend, if people listening have not checked out Deep Red or Suspiria, please go do that. Phenomenal soundtracks. I did check out the new Superman, the Christopher Reeve story documentary. Have you seen that yet, brother?
Yeah, I've seen it. I would say equally sad, but also equally, empowering. I'd say, if that makes any sense,
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't think I learned anything new, and I think that framing the whole documentary around his accident, I think I understand why they did it. I think I would have liked to have just kind of eased more into like who Reeve was, where he came from, why he did what he did before the accident, because we know about the accident and we know what he did. It's within living memory, and so while it was nice to obviously see some of the more personal stuff behind the scenes and obviously very emotional and sad and all the rest of it, I feel like I would have liked to have learned more about his body of work, to be honest.
Oh yeah, he was a real talent even before he became a Hollywood star.
Oh yeah, super talented, and even some of the movies that, I know they said he never had a hit like Superman. Well, who did? I mean, no one had a fucking hit like. So that's like saying Michael Keaton never really had a hit outside of Batman. Like, yes, Beetlejuice, but not. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Like there aren't many hits like Superman, but I feel like they could have explored the fact that Somewhere in Time has become quite a cult movie these days and has a lot of fans and interest and so on. And some of the other ones he did, I just would have liked to have dug more into that. I really like that they talked about his directing that he did once he was in the chair, and obviously the Rear Window remake that he did, both of which were, I think, was like super bold and super brave for him to do that. So I like that they went into that. But you know what I'm saying? I could have just done with a bit more the man and a bit less the illness or the accident,
I mean, Street Smart was a big step for him as far as like directing goes, and
yeah,
I'll make your terrible Superman film, but I'm going to make my film. We talked about this on a Beep Out of the Cannon episode where we talked about Street Smart and Superman 4, and that's not a debut, but as far as like a dramatic role goes, a pretty amazing debut by one Morgan Freeman in that sense, and as a Fast Black, the killer pimp with the Yoo-hoo bottle, so good, and the way I'm talking about it makes it sound like really overblown, but he plays Fast Black very well, and maybe without an auteur like Chris Reeve who attended Juilliard, who with Robin Williams, and had the best of acting direction himself at that school, would that probably have been the same,
Right? No, totally. No, I agree with that, and definitely one worth a revisit. Street Smart, I agree. The only new one that I've watched in the last week or two is a movie called Transmutations. I believe it has another title in the US, but it's a Clive Barker movie. It's about 2 or 3 years before what's that one called?
Nightbreed.
Nightbreed, and it sort of follows sort of a similar path to Nightbreed, except that it's set in England, and it's about there's a mad doctor played by Denham Elliott who has been trying to kind of create a wonder drug, and all he's creating is sort of mutant humans who all sort of have decided upon themselves to revolt against their evil master. And there's more to it than that. He's been sort of kidnapping people from brothels There's a hero character who's trying to track down his ex-love who had become a hooker, who's now been kidnapped from the brothel. It's a whole thing. It's very Clive Barker. It's pseudo-psychosexual with a lot of mutant humans in it. It was a 2.5 for me and not a keeper. But it had its moments. It was nice to see Denham Elliott and Stephen Burkoff hamming it up as villains in the movie. But I don't know. Ultimately, it felt too Nightbreed light for me. It wasn't as fully fleshed out as some of his later stuff.
Well, Burkoff, I'm used to being a supervillain because Beverly Hills Cop and a couple other things, but
Of course.
Denham Elliott, that's Marcus from Indiana Jones. So
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
you're not used to that sort of thing, so I'm kind of interested, and I've seen the box art. That's about as far as I go with that film. Is
Yeah.
there like some guy behind like a glass mask or something screaming or something? Is this something about talking about, or no? That's another film, I think. But
Yeah, I don't know. Let me hang on. I'm gonna
yeah,
look it up.
it's okay.
It's from 1988.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
also known as Underworld because the place that the mutants hang out in they call Underworld. But the VHS I have has transmutations on it. So,
Gotcha.
but it's a George Pavlu movie, and it's fine. It's it fits to me. I love Rawhead Rex.
Yep.
And I love Hellraiser, and I'm okay with Nightbreed. I get that Nightbreed is like a compromised classic kind of thing.
I'm one of those too. We talked about on I forget which episode it was, but I was on there with a couple people, and talking one of the biggest flaws of Nightbreed is it's not the creatures themselves, it's how freaking lame the villain, I mean the hero is in the movie.
Right.
Yeah, that's where it hurts really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and to his to his credit, Clive Barker did hate the movie. So whatever he wrote and whatever they ended up making clearly was compromised. But listen, it's one of those that if you're a Clive Barker completist or a Clive Barker fan or just a fan of weird oddball British underground horror films that no one ever talks about, you could do worse than Underworld, also known as Transmutations. You could do a lot worse. Dream Demon would be one that you could do a lot worse with. But and Bloodbath at the House of Death is another one that you could do a lot worse with. But Transmutations, also known as Underworld, it's worth 90 minutes of your time, I think.
Oh yeah.
As I say, it's a 2.5. Don't go in expecting a 3 and above. It's a 2.5, but it does what it says on the tin, kind of thing, if you know what I mean.
Oh, definitely. I'm interested because of the Denham Elliott thing, because
Yeah.
he's always the good guy. He's never the bad guy. So
So do you want me to reveal and thus give us a little discussion fodder about my top 10, or should we just move on to what you've been watching, sir? I don't mind either way.
you give us a quick rundown if you want to. It's fine.
All right. No, I'm just letting you know. So my top 10 in order, because I did order them, Gary. Number 1 is Arcadian, which I'm sure anyone who knows that Nick Cage has been shitting out horror movies lately, and all of them are worth at least a few minutes of your time. People are probably like, Arcadian? Really? Not Longlegs? Go back and watch Arcadian again. Watch it with an idea of generations getting out of the fucking way for the next generation, as well as fatherly love and everything else. Don't watch it as a monster movie, although it is a great monster movie. I fucking bawled my eyes out at the end of the movie. I thought it was one of the tightest written, best acted, atmospheric, genuinely scary with characters I actually cared about horror movie that I'd seen in a long time. It wasn't until later that I realized it was made by one of the 2 directors who also directed Nick Cage in the movie The Trust, which by far is my favorite of all the straight-to-video Nick Cage films. And I have been banging on about The Trust for well over, I think it's been a decade now since it came out, maybe only 8 years. But I've been going on about The Trust for a long time. No one else is with me on it, but I fucking adore it. So it was no surprise to me that when I looked up Arcadian after I'd done crying at the end of the movie, to find out that one of those dudes was behind it. I then emailed him because he had been on the dyno when The Trust came out.
Nice.
And they had really loved my review of The Trust. So I emailed him after I watched Acadian and just poured my heart out. Basically, I went, I don't even know if you're going to get this email, but I wanted to tell you what your film meant to me. And he got the email and he was like, I can't believe it, dude. You must be like the only person on the planet to get the movie the way I intended it to be got. And I'm like, man, I'm your audience. I fucking loved it. So Acadian is at the top spot. Then very quickly after that, you've got Maxine, The Substance, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, In a Violent Nature, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, Deadpool Wolverine, Godzilla Kong, The New Empire, Superman, the Christopher Reeve story, and then the 4:30 movie, the Kevin Smith film. Those are my top 10 of the year. So.
I enjoyed the fuck out of 4:30 movie. I thought it was wonderful. And it
Me too. I was a big fan of it.
really gave those young actors a chance to shine. I guess the male lead is Harley Quinn's live-in boyfriend. I guess
Yeah.
in real, because I started listening to the podcast Beardless Dickless Me, which is him and his daughter, telling
Yep.
stories and stuff, and I fell right into it because I love Kevin, and I'm sad I didn't get to meet Harley now at Chronicon. I'm upset by this now.
Yeah. Well, because you're falling in love with her on the podcast. You're getting to know her better. You're getting to realize there's a person behind the image or whatever. And I don't know. You're starting to feel brotherly or fatherly concerned feelings for the girl, right?
And I've heard about her since she was gonna be a thing. Yeah, you followed
Right.
Kevin long enough. He's very, very outspoken, very proud of her. So you it was like you grew up, you watched her grow up in a way. So
Oh, 100%. 100%.
listen to that show, and it's just it's a fine chemistry because you can hear Jen talking about it in like interviews, and that's Kevin's wife. About they're just the same person, just one's a girl.
Right. No, totally. But yeah, so that was my top 10. I didn't watch. I think I only watched about. I think at the end of the day, when I tallied it up on Letterboxd, and I'm after Movie Diner on Letterboxd for anyone who's on that platform and wants to follow me, please do. On Letterboxd, I think I'd only watched about 35, 36 movies from this year anyway. So finding 10 was pretty easy.
Cool. I watched a lot of old stuff for in recent watches. Well, old movies, new TV. I'll talk about some TV for sure. Because if you didn't watch The Sticky on Amazon Prime, you need to fix that problem. This stars Margot Martindale, who is who owns maple trees in Canada that produce syrup, and she's getting fucked over by one of the bigger syrup conglomerates, and her husband is ill, so she hatches a plan with the one security guard who works at the big shit's complex to steal some syrup, and the mob gets involved, and Jamie Lee Curtis shows up because she's a producer and an actor in here, and it's just great. Margot Martindale is always great, but you watch this too. What do you think, brother?
I haven't watched it yet. It's on my list to watch over Christmas.
I thought you did watch this. I'm sorry.
No, it's on my list on Amazon. I think did you recommend it last time, or did someone else recommend it? Might have been you.
I'm sorry.
No, it went on my list. Kim and I are going away to Savannah for Christmas, so I'm not bringing any DVDs or VHS with me, obviously. So I've been making a long list of streaming stuff that we can watch while we're there, and The Sticky is on the top of the list.
Yeah, they're just like 6 quick episodes. They're like 30 minutes each.
Yeah,
but it will make you want the next 6 episodes whenever they get here, and I hope they do. Hope this gets picked up for season 2, because Jamie Lee's been killing it with TV stuff lately. This, and of course, if you're not watching The Bear, you should, because when Jamie Lee cries, we all cry on that show, and I've watched exactly one episode of The Bear. My anxiety couldn't handle anymore. If you haven't seen the ones with the Bear's mother on there, played by Jamie Lee, they're pretty powerful episodes. Yeah,
okay.
You should continue that.
I don't know. It was like a lot of people shouting at each other for 30 minutes, and I'm like, I don't need that in my life. So
I've never worked in a kitchen, but I'd imagine from my friends tell me who have worked in a kitchen like that, that's a lot of what it is a lot of chefing, you know.
Dude, I worked in many kitchens as I was coming up, and yes, it's very accurate. But just because I worked in a kitchen when I was like 18 doesn't mean I want to go back to working in a kitchen.
Yes.
So it was so. I'm not saying it's a bad show. I'm saying it was so accurate that it gave me so much anxiety that I'm like, I can't handle any more of that.
You just wake up, hit a cold sweat. Yes, chef. Come on now, you know.
Yeah.
I watched one I was meaning to get to, but I didn't know the availability of it, so I went to the dark web, as they say, and watched the Sky original documentary, The Life and Deaths of Christopher Lee. Because it's Christopher Lee, you kind of have to watch it, even if it's, you know, mediocre. This wasn't that mediocre though. It had some great talking heads on there. It had this narrator who was like a Christopher Lee impersonator, where he did the voice pretty good.
Yeah, that's what bothers me about it, is I feel like that's going to really annoy me.
No, it's fine. It's just it kind of sounds like it's gonna sound really rude too. It almost put me to sleep because it was almost like soothing in a way, you know, because he's just doing this voice and like there's like some great animatics in there of like a Christopher Lee puppet like doing the narration with the voice and stuff, and yeah, Joe Dante's on there. John Landis, love him or hate him, he's on there.
Landis, there isn't a movie documentary that hasn't been made in the last 20 years that Landis hasn't shown up and been on. He is on every single movie documentary going. It does not surprise me that he shows up here to talk about Christopher Lee.
The still stunning Carolyn Monroe's on there. It's a nice, like, hey, let's not dwell on like one movie kind of thing, because it really it moves at a pace to where it covers just about everything.
Right. Okay. No, I mean, I'm definitely going to watch it, but you know, I think that there is a 6-part Hammer horror documentary begging to be made that goes deep into it. I think the only sad thing is it probably should have been made in the late 80s when everyone was still around, so that they could have got Oliver Reed, and they could have got Christopher Lee, and they could have got Peter Cushing, and they could have got some of these people, because anything now will only ever be, you know, sort of retrospective, and it will be sort of third-hand or fourth-hand accounts of what went on. But I think it is a period and Christopher Lee, although I know he absolutely shunned the title of, you know, King of Horror or whatever, or whatever people tried to call him. He didn't want to be called anything to do with horror. But I think if his legacy is important at all, whether he likes it or not, it is in those Hammer horror films, because it is a decade of filmmaking, especially in the British film industry, that is unlike no other. We don't have there is no other part of the British film industry where we have a sustained run of profitable films. I mean, yes, you could say, okay, well, there are 3 Hugh Grant movies, you know what I mean? Love Actually, Notting Hill, and 4 Weddings, where you go, well, I guess the British film industry had a little Hugh Grant moment, sure. But this was 50, 60 films over the course of 14 years, and it revolutionized the horror industry. I mean, without the bright Technicolor blood and the atmosphere of many Hammer horror films, you wouldn't have got the more gory, permissive, exciting 70s and 80s. I think you can draw that line, I think.
Unsung, really, for many people, but my favorite Mummy film is him and the Hammer Mummy film. I think from '58, I think.
Yeah, that's one of the earliest ones. Yeah,
he does this move to where he comes up behind a guy and does like a backbreaker move that snaps the guy's neck. And it's a total baller move. And if you haven't seen the '58 Mummy film, it surpasses the Karloff one by far, which I think is a little dull, and this like fixes all those problems for me. Is the Hammer one.
Oh yeah, and I think again that they're easier to revisit almost than the Universal monster movies because they're in color and they are made through a couple of decades, the 60s and 70s, where there was really sort of change going on in the world. So they feel, although they're all period pieces, or most of them are period pieces, they feel more contemporary because a period piece could have been made at any time. You know what I mean? And because they are talking to an audience in the 60s and 70s that were, you know, more open-eyed and more revolutionary and more evolving and everything else, and more socially conscious, I think that comes out in the movies in a weird way. And I think therefore it makes them more accessible even to 2024 audiences, I hope.
I had myself on mute. I apologize. But yeah,
Oh,
I totally agree with that. And it definitely is a house that they definitely built. Him, Peter Cushing, Ingrid Pitt, even you know,
yeah.
they built that house for sure. And
Oh, 1,000%. And
it's
two of my favorites
right.
that I would strongly recommend people go watch, Hound of the Baskervilles, probably the best filmed version of Hound of the Baskervilles. Peter Cushing is a phenomenal Sherlock Holmes, and
Yep.
Christopher Lee is fantastic in it as well, as one of the Baskervilles, and just a phenomenal, probably the best Conan Doyle adaptation until Jeremy Brett in the 90s, I would say. And then the other one I really, really like is the Satanic Rites of Dracula. I know everyone loves AD 72 because they like how cheesy it is, but I love Satanic Rites of Dracula, which comes shortly after that. I believe in America it was also known as Dracula and his Vampire Brides, I think, which is weird because
what this is, yeah.
it's the last one that Lee would play. It's the last Hammer that Lee played Dracula in. It's the one that comes right after 1972. In fact, AD 72 is part one, and the Satanic Rites of Dracula follows directly on from that. Yeah. It follows straight on. And what I love about Satanic Rites of Dracula, the reason why it's my favorite, apart from obviously the 70s contemporary London setting, the funk soundtrack, the sort of weird like James Bond kind of Doctor Who undertones to the whole thing. But my favorite thing about it is that the plot hinges on Dracula having had enough. And that's what I love about it, is it's such an existential Dracula film, because it essentially says, and I would love to see someone do something like this with Jason or with Michael Myers, because one of the things that Dracula talks about, he's like every time I'm killed by the Van Helsing family, and then every time I'm brought back to life by some fucking butler or some devotee or someone who wants, and he's like, I'm tired. I keep dying and then trying to like live my best life, and the Van Helsing family keep killing me, and then someone keeps bringing me back to life again, and he's just tired. So he wants to unleash a plague onto the world, and it's just and at one point I think Cushing as Van Helsing was like, but wouldn't you also be killing your food supply? And Dracula's just like, I don't care. I want it done. And I just think it's such a great fucking underrated concept for a vampire film. The examination of everlasting life being just fucking too much to handle. I absolutely adore that movie. It's the last ride of Cushing and Lee together in a Hammer like that. Cushing would go on to play Van Helsing in the Japanese the Shaw Brothers and Hammer horror mashup that would happen in the mid 70s. They did the Seven Golden Vampires, right?
Yeah.
So Shaw Brothers and Hammer horror, and they got together and made the Seven Golden Vampires, and Cushing was the only one of the Hammer stalwarts to appear in that one. But again, Satanic Rites of Dracula, look it up. And last thing I'll say on the subject, Gary, because I feel like I've hijacked everything again,
that's okay,
is that my buddy Jim Wallace, who was on the After Movie Diner podcast and my co-host for hundreds and hundreds of episodes, and is a dear, dear friend of mine, he was reviewing every single of not the Hammer studio films, but just the Hammer horror films. I think it was like 63 of them or something eventually. And he was reviewing every single one of them for the After Movie Diner website as the bloke down the pub, which is sort of that guy who sits at the end of the bar, who's a bit of a gobshite, bit of a know-it-all, but you sort of like talking to him and hanging out with him anyway, even though you probably suspect most of what he's saying is nonsense. He wrote an entire book reviewing every single Hammer horror film and published it. So go to aftermoviediner.com and pick up the Hammer horror book, The Bloke Down the Pub Bangs on About Hammer Horror. It's something like that. Anyway, there's the link on aftermoviediner.com. And I would love if some fellow Hammer fans went and picked it up. I think it's the best film review book I've ever read, because most film review books by critics, you're reading it in their voice, and therefore it's very well, it's exactly that. It's critical, it's attacking very often, it's snarky, it's cynical, it's smarmy, it's whatever. Critics tend to have, these kind of voices like that, where they have a lot to say about very important things, and you just want to fucking hit them in the face. Whereas a book reviewing Hammer horror films in a character, so you're reading it as a character's voice, I just think that is one of the most inventive things, and I love it. So I urge people to pick up a copy of that book. It's linked from aftermoviediner.com.
Cool. Yeah, I've been really documentary heavy. I like good documentaries though. I watched the new In Search of Darkness, which is the 1990 through 1994.
Where did you get that, dude?
Well, I have a friend who buys these things and a friend who rips these things. But you go support these Kickstarters, please, whenever possible. But I'm sure it'll be out, on Shudder eventually, streaming after they.
I love those documentaries. They could go on and on for weeks. I'd be very happy.
Yeah, but it's like 5 hours long, 5.5 hours long. You got to set time away from it, but it goes pretty fast as far as the documentary goes. And this one is the early '90s, which has a lot of good stuff in it. They're missing some stuff, in my opinion, because they do this thing. This is the annoying part to me. Is like they'll get like the director of Necromantic 2, which was made in the '90s, and they'll say, okay, we'll talk about that film. And let's talk about his other films too, but like leave stuff out, like Ticks and stuff like that, which I think Ticks needs to be talked about because of the great practical effects. And this is one man's opinion, but but they would do
Howard.
Clint Howard, yeah, I'm infested for sure.
Yeah.
Which MegaCon, if you're a convention person in Florida, just dropped an amazing bomb today to where they're gonna have Bryce Dallas Howard, who's been doing conventions lately, Clint Howard, and brother Ron Howard.
Look at that. The three Howards.
Insane announcement.
Yeah, they should call it Howard's Way.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, that's getting really annoying because I don't like, and I forget the last time they did these for the 80s, if Warlock was even discussed, but it just takes away from films like Ticks, which was a real low key, straight to VHS, directed by Anthony Hickox, who's no longer with us, of course. He died, and to get like, somebody who made Necromantic 2, which you either like a woman who wants to mash the no parts of their dead lover, or you don't. I think it's just you can say, hey, I saw Necromantic 2, and that's as far as I go with Necromantic 2. I'm not saying it's memorable. It's not the best thing in genre cinema that has ever existed, but did John Pisano, which I love. I love Zombie Nightmare, and I love Black Roses, of course. But did all of his films need to be discussed on these documentaries? I don't think so. It's just there's room for other things, and it's really annoying that they say, hey, we got the director of Pig Fuckers of the World. Let's talk about that film, and let's talk about his 6 other films on this documentary.
Wait, they talk about Pig Fuckers of the World? I love that movie.
I just making up names, but yeah, it's good though. I mean,
got Barry Bostwick in it.
My favorite to this day is still the sci-fi one though, the In Search of Tomorrow, which I rewatched because I have hours to kill at work, so I just turn one of these on and just let it play. But on that one, you get to hear Barry Bostwick talk about Megaforce.
Yes.
You get to hear him talk about, and this is a controversial statement. about how 2010 is better than 2001, in my opinion, and in their opinion, and they're not wrong about this. It is a better plot-driven film than 2001. But if you don't see 2001, you don't know who Hal 9000 is, and then a couple other things, and that fits into the plot of 2010. Spoilers,
Have you seen In Search of the Last Action Heroes?
I've seen it around. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
I believe it's on Amazon, or at least it was.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen it. I've seen it when it came out, as far as like when it was released. I just never got to it yet, because I wasn't sure what it was. So I was like, I'll check this out.
And obviously King Cohen, the Larry Cohen documentary by Steve Mitchell, who is going on to make a Wings Hauser documentary. And I said to him on chat, because we had interviewed each other a while ago, I said to him on chat, so wait a minute, you did Larry Cohen, one of my favorite underground filmmakers that almost nobody talks about anymore. Then you're going to do Wings Hauser, one of my favorite. Like, if you do Donald Pleasance next, I don't know. I think I might shit myself, Like, he's doing all of my favorite weirdo obsessions. Like, if he makes a documentary on PM Entertainment films, I'll just be like, all right, Steve, we have to be best friends.
It'll probably be the guy that made the Cat 3 documentary, which is a pretty good documentary. If you don't know what Cat 3 films are.
I do, yeah.
No, I know you know what they are, but like Joe Schmoman, I know what they are. These are the dirty, filthy, action-laden, almost pornographic films that made out of Hong Kong that are just insane to watch. And yes, indeed. Past documentaries, I watched more TV. 2 new shows started up. One I was looking forward to, one took a plunge on. HBO Max has started DC's Creature Commandos, and this is a series that I've known well, as far as like it exists. Basically, the way they do this is they take Amanda Waller, who runs the Suicide Squad, and finds a loophole to say, hey, we can use creatures instead of people as the loophole. So you have Frankenstein's Bride, you have a series of people, like a Gill man, which is a Gill lady. Rick Flag, of course, is leading the squad. There's a GI robot. The Weasel is there. It's just this is a very fun series, written and produced by James Gunn. It's dirty. It's funny. It's heartbreaking. It's so many things that I would recommend to go watch. And a great animated series called DC's Creature Commandos, just to take all that GI robot in, because it's a great character who's I'm sorry.
Is it similar in vibe to like the Peacemaker or whatever that was with Cena?
Yes, yeah. As far as like comedy goes, because that's the style that James Gunn does. He does it filthy, and
right.
It's not made for kids. It kind of like the Harley Quinn cartoon show was pretty delightful. If you haven't watched that either, it's the same kind of vibe, and I like this direction that DC's going into. Makes you look. I guess the Superman trailer comes out. We're recording this on Tuesday. It comes out on Thursday, and I don't run the trailers right away, but I'm gonna go look for that, because I'm looking forward to see what James Gunn does with that.
And maybe if we get enough requests, Gary and I will go live on Instagram with instant reactions to the instant trailer, because there's nothing the internet loves more than people giving instant reactions to things, Gary.
Oh yeah, I'm down. But then you get those people out there that says, "Well, you missed this Easter egg where this happened in issue 117 in 1978, to where Superman farted on a biscuit and then he ate it, and then you missed that split second in the trailer."
Superman farted on a biscuit. If Superman farted on a biscuit, wouldn't the biscuit like explode or something?
No, it would just diffuse with superpower that he would just like feel more powerful after the.
Oh, so wait, Superman's farts give inanimate objects or organic objects more powers?
Why not? It'd be like the way Gambit touches things to charge them. I guess yes. Superman's farts are supersonic, and make his food all that much more exorbitant or gaseous. Well, it didn't exist because I said it. Okay,
I like it. I like it.
Because of fan theory or whatnot. And the one I took a chance on because I'm about all Star Wars out by now, but Disney Plus put out the Skeleton Crew TV show, about some plucky kids on a planet that discover a spaceship in a hill, and are shoved into like a Mos Eisley situation, only to find prison-bound Jude Law, who I think is a Jedi from where I'm at in the series. I couldn't tell you for sure if that's a thing, but it's just fun space adventures with kids I don't hate, and they have a robot, and Jude Law might be a robot. I don't know yet, but probably the most fun thing he's done that I've seen since the Sherlock Holmes movies. So there's that. Skeleton Crews, it's fun. It's not perfect, but it's fun.
And it's Jude Law.
It's Jude Law, yeah.
It's fun law.
It's fun. It's definitely fun law. Definitely
coming to NBC this fall. Fun law.
Fun law. I rewatched some stuff. I won't go too far into it because one day I want to do this and Back to the Beach together because they're both pseudo sequels to Back to the Beach is a sequel to all those beach movies from the 50s and 60s. But I watched Blues Brothers 2000. Again, if you follow me on the social medias, the story is subpar, but it's fun enough to say, hey, this is probably the greatest collection of musicians that were ever captured on film together. Especially in the final showdowns there, where they're in the battle of the bands, and you have people like Chicago blues legend Coco Taylor on stage with Lou Rawls and Steve Winwood and Travis Tritt and B.B. King and Taj Mahal, and so many people on the stage all at once that you'd be here for 20 minutes describing all the people that are on stage all at once. Right. And it's just an incredible soundtrack to a movie that's just okay, but it's something my father enjoyed the hell out of, and mostly because of the tunes, and that's what'll keep you in it is seeing Eddie Floyd and Wilson Pickett, doing their thing, and seeing that Aretha's still very talented at this point, and so much goodness in Blues Brothers 2000 in a film that's much maligned. I don't think it deserves to be, because I have a good time with it. Yeah,
I have a good time with it as well. I can do without the kid. I can always do without the kid. But, in general.
Plucky kid, they got those things,
Yeah. But no, I listen, I think Blues Brothers 2000 is what it is. And it, as you say, as a musical legacy, history, documentary, it is as relevant as something like The Last Waltz to some extent. But obviously doesn't have that power.
Oh, yeah.
But it is wonderful that it exists. So, and Landis broke his own record and trashed one more car than he had done in the previous one. There's literally a behind-the-scenes documentary where Landis was like, oh, we were sat there for hours flinging cars at a pile of cars, just counting each one to make sure that I broke my record by one car.
By one car, yes.
On the original Blues Brothers movie, he broke his record on Blues Brothers 2000 by one car. And you're just like, God, can you imagine working for Landis? You'd be like, what? I'm sorry, John. What are you trying to do? Anyway.
You feel bad for the stuntman, but at the same time, that there may be like a brick on an accelerator at some point in time during some of those crashes.
Oh yeah, I don't think they're all piloted.
Yes. Yeah. Besides all that good stuff, I forget what else I watched, but one thing I recommend you guys listen to, because this is unprecedented, is Body Count has a new album out, and that's Ice-T's metal/rap project. If you guys don't know what that is.
Oh yeah.
He does a cover of "Comfortably Numb" by Pink Floyd, and and what makes this relevant is that David Gilmour and Roger Waters agreed on one thing, and that's letting him make this cover song. You know, first thing they agreed on about 20 years probably. And David Gilmour plays on the track, and he absolutely just blows everybody away. It's like the second tier thing to reminds me of when Prince got on stage at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for George Harrison, and just the light shines on the purple one, and he's got that red hat on, and just says, "You know what? Hold my beer, I got this," and just destroys everybody.
Yeah, where he plays his penis,
yes,
like on stage. He just whips out his 3.5-foot penis and just waves it about the stage like a mighty swordsman of the highest order.
I watched that performance. I don't even know, like like once every 4 months I'll turn it on just to turn it on, you know.
Yeah, it's like when Robbie absolutely hands Eric Clapton his ass in The Last Waltz. Robbie sees what Clapton's trying to do at the beginning of the like solo off that they have. Mm-hmm. And while Clapton only gets more repetitive and less interesting each back and forth they do, Robbie just builds and builds and builds until finally he's just beating Clapton about the head and neck with his mighty guitar member.
And then later on disappoints everybody by just playing guitar while Levon Helm is playing the mandolin and someone else playing the accordion, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah. So Richard Manuel is on the drums.
Yes.
Garth is playing. I think. Is he on the accordion? Is Garth on the accordion?
On the accordion. Yeah.
That's it. Garth's on the accordion, and then Rick. He's on the violin.
Yes.
And Levon's on the mandolin.
And then Robbie's still just playing guitar.
Robbie's just on guitar. I mean, it's a huge guitar, but still, it's just guitar.
This is all in John's wonderful commentaries on Instagram at Movie Diner. And I laughed for a half an hour at least when those were happening. And
dude, I love doing my weird commentaries at like 1 a.m. when I'm watching some movie. I'm just rambling about it.
Infamous, and Gnome Cop is infamous, and you know.
Gnome Cop. No one appreciated Gnome Cop as much as I would have liked.
gotta love Gnome Cop, yo. Come on.
Yeah. If you're not on the Gnome Cop train, get on it tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my gosh. We'll get this film discussion going on right now. We'll go for the non-parade jam first, or the VHS jam, if you will.
Okay, we're gonna go back to front with this.
We'll go back to front with this, and we did this. We flipped this in reverse to where I picked the VHS jam that John had on VHS miraculously, which is spectacular.
Yeah.
The film that I said he had to see. This is tailor made for our discussion because of the absurdity and the wonderfulness of it. We talk about the Final Alliance.
Yes.
From 1990.
Will Collins is back in town.
A new home, Felix. We've seen worse.
But his homecoming is anything but friendly.
I don't want your beer. I want to cut you up. Ah! Son of a bitch.
Because something's gone wrong in the old neighborhood. And Will isn't leaving until he makes things right. Starring Knight Riders David Hasselhoff and John Saxon of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's an all-out battle for the soul of an entire city.
Let's get him!
In The Final Alliance.
Everybody knows Ghost Shipping Company is just a cover-up operation for smuggling of drugs and weapons. He and his gang have been running this town for years, and something's got to be done.
He comes after you and me. You got to be loony.
Clutch empty sedan, a one-man army.
David Hasselhoff and John Saxon.
Somebody's gonna get shot. I've been shot before. I lived. You won't.
Exploding onto video cassette. The Final Alliance from Epic Home Video.
Oh my gosh. Let me give you a rundown. I'm sorry.
Cowboy Hasselhoff versus weirdly albino sidecar John Saxon.
Just ride bitch in that movie, man.
Just riding in the sidecar.
There's a story behind that, but
yeah.
This stars the great John Saxon as Ghost, our albino biker. Sees a lot of sun in this movie, which surprises the fuck out of me.
Yeah, because I'm surprised he doesn't get pigment back in his eyes.
Oh, the great Bo Hopkins as our crooked sheriff Whistler in this movie. And,
didn't get enough time, but Bo Hopkins in a three-piece suit, always a thrill, always a pleasure.
Who else we got in this film? We got Jeannie Moore, who was in a bunch of genre stuff.
Jeannie Moore, but did not continue acting for very long.
Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. A lot of random folks I don't recognize, but it's a crazy fucking film, directed by Mario DeLeo, who he did a bunch of TV that I've seen, Battlestar Galactica. Ooh, he did DOP on the third or fourth segments of Nightmares. So he didn't do Bishop of Battle, but he worked on Nightmares apparently. But his directorial
this is his only feature movie.
Yeah, which is I'm not saying it's a shame, but he did do one episode of A Man Called Hawk, which we don't know what that is. That is the spinoff to Spencer for Hire, starring Avery Brooks and there. Avery Brooks, I never watched this. Avery Brooks and Moses Gunn are the same thing. Ooh, yeah, tickle me intrigued on that one. I'm the spinoff now. But yeah, he did a lot of TV, and not much else. But the Hoff. I was telling folks, when I saw this for the first time, if you ever seen this, just the Hoff acting like the Hoff with the beard, and in a fucking huge fucking cougar. This is the film for you. So this is like a second time watch for me. I'm gonna kick it to John first and ask him what are his initial thoughts on Final Alliance.
Well, my overall appraisal is that it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it. There's nothing particularly new here, and I always feel Hasselhoff. Here's my thing. I've watched a lot of Hasselhoff starring movies. I've watched The Witchery and the other one he does with Linda Blair, which I'm going to forget the name of right now. But he does a couple of Linda Blair movies, and I forget the other one. But I've seen that and The Witchery. I've seen Star Crash, obviously. I've seen Terror at London Bridge. I've seen a bunch of like the Hasselhoff starring films, and obviously I was a big Knight Rider fan. So on. It's odd that a lot of his film roles he doesn't bring his small screen charisma to. He's oddly he can act because you've seen him on TV being comical or being suave or being like badass or whatever. Like he can do all these things because you've seen it in his shows. But then in his movies he tends to be a little withdrawn a little bit. I think he tries too hard in the movies, and I think that's why I'm always watching the Final Alliance. I was always waiting for the next kick, the next step up for the movie, the next kind of crescendo, and it always just kind of ended up flatlining. But I enjoyed the hell out of it, because how can I not say that I didn't love a movie in which Hasselhoff drives around wearing an enormous leather hat in an armored or at least tank truck type vehicle with a fucking, what is it, a cougar or a mountain lion? What the fuck is it?
It's a mountain lion, I believe.
A fucking mountain lion, driving around with a mountain lion to go back to his, old family farm and fight an albino sidecar bitch, John Saxon. If I said I didn't enjoy it, I'd be a fucking idiot, because just the description alone is enjoyable. And the movie does give you that description, which is why it gets all its points. But in general, I always watch Hasselhoff movies and go, come on, Davey boy, I know you can be better than this. Where's the wink at the camera and the swagger? Why are you trying to I know your character's meant to be the man with no name who rides into town and gives everything a one-word answer. I get that, but I don't know. He could have put a bit of spring in his step. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. He plays the role. He was given pretty well, I think, as far as the strange man who comes to town, which in this case he plays his card really early is a problem for me in this movie, because you find out that he was this guy who him and his family were supposedly murdered. In his case, left for dead because apparently, I don't know, it has to be 30, 40 years ago that this happened, because Hoff at this point is probably 45 to 50, but he is shown in flashbacks as a small boy with his family and ironically a cat, which, yeah. So this has to be a long, long time in the waiting, but some stuff doesn't line up, but we'll get to that later. But I love the stranger that comes to town to start some shit things, and it's appropriate that Bo Hopkins is in this because he plays Buford Pusser in the freaking Walking Tall sequels.
Yes.
Yeah, in the sequels he plays Buford Pusser. Pusser.
He also plays cops in two Wings Hauser movies. One, Mutant, and the other one where he's sort of a sheriff that is trying to sweep all the clearly, obviously zombie murders under the rug in that one. And then he plays the cop in Nightmare Before Noon, doesn't he? Or no, George Kennedy plays the cop in that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the other one. I know what you're talking about, though.
You know what I mean? He's a man of action in both those movies.
But yeah, Bo Hopkins is great as this sleazy, not really. He goes against the grain with this one because he plays the sleazy, sheriff who's working with the biker gang, selling drugs and guns and apparently high explosives. And this guy Hasselhoff plays, that guy that comes in his leathers and his hat and his his truck and just is gonna start some shit right away. And it's like John says, everything's out of 10. In this movie, you get the Hoff. I'd say to the best of the Hoff's ability, because his acting wasn't always that great. This is more of a subdued Hasselhoff as far as he's arrogant without being arrogant. Not like a Knight Rider where he was just arrogant all the time. Yeah. He had a supercharged car, of course. But yeah, I love that. I love this Hoff though, where he goes to town, to I guess get revenge on people inadvertently. These people that killed his family, and it just
Well, he went in the military. He was a mercenary for a while, and then he's been. It feels like he's taken, and that's the only thing that I found that this didn't quite establish. How it feels like this biker gang has been there for 30 years.
Yep.
Which is sort of very odd to it's hard to explain and understand.
He's been away for a while apparently too, but doesn't line up as the age group of him and our love interest of the film. Because I watched you run the 50-meter dash in high school. You guys are not the same age.
No.
At all. So, this is the part that the only part of the film that really bothers me is that it's how would you know this girl in high school? Were you watching the kids from afar or something?
Right, but also, what does it say about Hasselhoff that unspeakable things happen, everything's terrible? He goes in the military, fine. You want to get your skills and you want to, get your training and you want to get your discipline and all that. I understand that, go in the military. But then when he comes out, he becomes a mercenary for a while. So it's yes, okay, I guess he's got to earn money so that he can then ride back into town and fix up the old ranch. But in general, the Hoff waited his time before he came back to wreak bloody vengeance. Maybe he didn't expect that the biker gang was still there. Maybe he was surprised when they showed up. I can't really tell because he wasn't acting very well.
Well, he had to be away, to learn how to be a demolitions expert,
Right.
and an expert horse breaker, and a master of cats. Because this cougar, which I wish there was more films like this. There's a video game called Dead. I think it's called Dead to Rights.
Yeah.
In which a wolf is used as a weapon with the guy. He sicks the wolf on people. But I was looking for films like this where they have a deadly animal at their disposal, and but
K9 really.
K9 is about it really.
But K9, K9 is to be expected, because K9, it's like, oh, it's a police dog. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
There aren't many action movies where the lead guy just swans into town. He's like, and while I'm here, I will also have a mountain lion just with me, just around. Felix, his name was, right?
Felix,
go back in the kitchen. Yeah.
Yes. Don't worry, he won't claw your eyes out. He's just a regular house cat. Come on.
Yeah, he's just a regular. Like, it was insane that he was just hanging out with a mountain lion. But also, it was. I tell you what it was. It was probably because they wrote the script and they were like, "Oh God, this is like, 1 in every 5 Van Damme movies, and 1 in every 4 Clint Eastwood movies, and 1 in every, They were probably going, oh, how are we going to distinguish this? All right, make John Saxon an albino and give Hasselhoff a mountain lion. I mean, it's like Mad Lib screenwriting.
It really is. But when you look at Saxon in this film, you really have this is the strengths of this film. Not so much that he has a cougar for a pet. You have great genre people in this movie.
Yeah,
holding it down, if you will.
Yes.
Although he looks ridiculous. I mean, he's got red contact lenses. He got like almost like Fuad Ramsey-esque, white powdered hair.
Yeah.
And white skin. But he wears like the reddest shirt they can find, and he's constantly out in the sun. But you got this albino.
But he's also pleasingly not in shape. Like, he's sort of a little chubby.
Yes, he is.
In a way, in a good way. In a way where I'm like, I love that it's this over the hill, portly albino. It's so like what's his name? It's like a overweight, middle-aged Andy Warhol who's riding in a sidecar. It's mad. Whoever came up with it is a genius.
Yes. See, he's holding it down in this role called Ghost. Because why not? Why wouldn't you call him Ghost?
Right. Because you can see right through him.
You can see right through him. And his skin is white. And, he goes out the daytime constantly. You think that, daytime would be an enemy to the albino. But not this guy. He lives in a desert town. He's riding bitch in a fucking sidecar.
What I always love about this, I love about movies like this, where especially this one, where this one not only it has the biker gang like overrunning the town or whatever and destroying people and raping things and smashing stuff, but also in a nearby like airline hangar, they are, committing, mass drug import and export business and guns and everything else. They've got a full-blown, full-scale operation happening in this aircraft hangar just out of town. And you go to yourself, well, if you have this like billion-dollar operation happening in an aircraft hangar, why is the best strategy that you all ride into town and fucking bring massive amounts of attention to yourselves? Why is that a good plan? Why wouldn't you just go to the local diner, get your ham, egg, and chips, just hang out, whatever it is, don't cause too much fuss, don't forget about the aircraft hangar with the millions of dollars of cocaine. Remember that is where you can afford to buy these nice bikes. So how about we just ride around quietly, don't draw any attention, because God forbid we kill a bunch of people, and then 35 years later, I'm being kind on Hasselhoff, but 35 years later, just in case old Hoff face comes riding into town to kill us with his mountain cat.
His mountain cat and his one handgun and his apparently,
armored tank.
Armored. No, somebody else. See, that's the thing. He's not like, deep into like, full A team. It takes town people who are terrified of the sheriff and of course Ghost to help him become an A team character. And even then, the armored truck at the end to I guess to break him out, is not driven by the Hop. It's driven by the estranged priest who this whole time has been against them, but has a moral judgment to say, you know what, I'm going to be good now and help out this man, and has a freaking George Buckflower-esque death a la dragon fight in this film. It just say, hey, I did good and it didn't have boss, and then dies.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it's sillier even than the A Team, the setup of this whole thing, and like I say, it strategically makes zero sense for them to be doing what they're doing when they're also making millions of dollars smuggling guns and drugs.
I would say nobody has the upper hand at any time during this movie because at any time, literally, he could be shot in the face by one of these biker goons.
Right.
And like not going for the goal of, avenging his family and his tiny cat, and eventually his bigger cat. Because I forgot the fact that, something happens to Felix in this movie,
right,
until it happens. And then of course he has another reason to be vengeful. So he's just vengeful all the time. But
yeah, I mean, Hasselhoff technically in the last act of this movie originated John Wick syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He lost two cats for sure.
Yes.
It wasn't so much his family that mattered. It was the cats, and being cat
pussies.
Those pussies. Being a cat dad myself, I can feel the kindred spirit of what one's man is collection to his pussy. That.
Yeah.
But, yeah. You get this. This is kind of like the great Craig Hey Puppies, Craig R. Baxley's Stone Cold, except it doesn't really go for it like Stone Cold does.
Right.
But I don't think it had a huge budget, as far as like it being a studio picture, to really go for it. Now, if it went like full bore, like insane, irresponsible stunts a la Stone Cold, it would add a little bit more prestige to this picture that I happen to like. It's hard not to like this movie. Let's put it that way. But yeah, if it would have went full bore, like really went for it with his vengeance and not him being so fucking playful with it. It's like, I'm gonna go get back the family ranch from these fucking shitheads, and I'm gonna buy a horse that doesn't go that plot doesn't go anywhere except leads into to sexual recourse with the young lady. And
horses equal sexual recourse. I feel like in films, horses are often used as the either precursor or the postscript to carnal pleasures.
It's like, hey man, they killed your father, they killed my family. I got this horse that's a little wild, just like me. You want to fuck?
Well, I mean, what about in Tombstone, where obviously Wyatt Earp goes horseback riding with the actress woman that he liked, Dana Delaney.
Oh yeah.
And Kurt Russell and Dana Delaney basically fuck each other, but by riding. So like Russell's riding his horse really like, yeah, like really, really exaggerated. And she's doing the same thing. And it's basically a precursor. They're like having Anchorman sex. Do you know what I mean? Like where they're like sliding down a rainbow or riding two pandas or whatever, or like flying in a unicorn. But instead they're just riding two horses. So I love it. Yeah, horses are used. In fact, it must be a cliche because in The Player, the Tim Robbins movie directed by oh my God, now I'm forgetting his name. Robert Altman.
Robert.
The great Robert Altman, who made The Player. In The Player, the script that she's reading, that Tim Robbins' girlfriend is reading in the swimming pool when they're chatting at the spa, has a whole sex scene in a stable in the script. She reads it out. She says something about the buckboard or something bangs back and forth while the horses weigh and ninny or something, or neigh and whinny.
Yeah, you need that in your life, all the neighing and whinny, sex innuendo,
Yeah, well, that's the Final Alliance builds a huge section of the movie on the back of this promise of sexual fulfillment.
and that's how that young lady broke her hymen finally,
Yeah.
Just riding on the horse bareback.
What about the fact that literally in the next scene when they're under attack, she takes the opportunity to ask him if he loves her? And I'd be like, steady on, darling. We just did the deed once last night. Like, really? Really? You're this needy? You're this clingy? You're going to need to love you the very next fucking day? Oh, because you're being shot at and being set fire to. Yeah, I know. That's problematic. But in general, do you really need an I love you right now? And he fully gives it. He fully gives an I love you right back. So apparently the Hasselhoff is a one and done kind of guy. He's just, he's like, yeah, I like the neighing and whinnying. Let's keep that up.
Her and her sister have a straight up, ooh, man moment in this movie, though, after he, I think he has a tussle a few times with our bikers in town. And he goes into town again, of course, because, why not start more shit with this biker gang and not to get shot in the face. And the cousin's there at the store with her. She goes, is that him? And of course, he goes into the bar that the bikers own with our bootleg William Smith at the bar, being the bartender, which, if you can't get William Smith, you get a guy that looks like William Smith. Why not get William Smith for like a day or something? You guys could have had him for like a...
Seriously, he'll show up for a lasagna and a bottle of wine.
I was gonna say $20, maybe a cheap wine, and maybe a carton of Campbell's Unfiltered. Okay,
yeah, there you show up. Yeah, a nice malt whiskey to finish. He'll be here. Seriously, you can get him for nothing. Probably.
He looked like William Smith. You did this guy that was the bartender.
Yeah. He had a very William Smith thing about him, and I wish it had been William Smith, but sadly, it was not to be, which is disappointing. But he goes to start shit, and the sister and her are overcome by the vapors, which I believe is Southern for gets really moist in the crowd.
Because they have a lot in common. They both lost their family by our friend Ghost here, who's Oh,
I'm sorry. Some of her lines, especially at the end where she's tied up and she's like, "You killed my daddy." Oh, I was like, God, that's so cringy. And then John Saxon
right into it, yes.
John Saxon just leaps James Spader both feet forward into a whole routine of, "Oh, you can call me daddy if you like." I'm like, this is just wrong.
Want me to be your daddy? Come on now.
He's rubbing up against her, grabbing her boobs. Wow.
Right there with your buddy that passed away, Peter Spellos, his scene in fucking Freddy's Dead.
Yeah.
Where he's pervert on Leslie Dean there, was her abusive daddy, Yeah,
no, it was all kinds of creepy, but Janie Moore, was that her name? Jeannie Moore?
Yeah, Jeannie Moore.
Jeannie Moore, she kept being like, you killed my dad, and it was not, I don't know, it didn't sit right with me.
She still didn't care because
I still didn't care. I couldn't care at all.
She had no proof apparently, because this is that town that says, "Hey, by the way, we didn't see anything, nothing to see here," and they probably all knew that he killed her father, and she goes, "Oh, just shut up and keep your mouth shut and stay out of trouble, honey." But look, my man's come to town now, who apparently saw me running a track meet from across the field somewhere when he was 28 years old, and said, "You know what? One day I'm gonna fuck that girl. You
when
know,
he was 28.
because you look at the age difference. I have to look this up now to see how so let's do this. Because I'm not sure.
That is funny.
But he's much older than she is, obviously.
28 years old. That's hilarious.
He was probably at least 25 or so when she was in high school. So he was just that creeper that was hanging around the track meet because he's still in seclusion as Will Coulter, this presumed dead fucking child.
Right.
Oh, but he's still hanging about the town to say, you know what? One day I'm gonna get my revenge, and one day I'm gonna fucking fuck that girl in a barn.
But I have to buy a horse first.
He's got to buy a horse first, man.
Yeah. Wow. That got dark. That went to dark places. No, this is.
I blame Saxon for this because of the whole "Who's Your Daddy" line.
Yeah. Oh, it's grotesque. Watching him do that with that actress, it's grotesque. It's not pleasant. It's not anything anyone needed to see. Was a randy albino Saxon.
that line with that skin and those contact lenses. I'm like, yeah. And there's a point in the film, I think Alex was still wearing the same shirt, but he just busts out wearing like this blood red shirt. I was like, that doesn't go well with your skin tone, buddy. It just doesn't.
It's just the fact that he's overweight. He looks like with his little like leather waistcoat and his like paunch underneath. He looks like a dart player from like up north in England, like a darts player. What are they called? Like dartsmen? I don't know what they're called.
I have a clue.
He looks like someone that you would see hanging around the Skegness Working Men's Club in England, or the some working men's club in Yorkshire. That's what he looks like. He looks like. I tell you what he looks like. He looks like an end of the pier magician from Blackpool.
He's had too many lagers over the years. Now, you know what he needed? He needed a limp.
Yeah.
He got drunk one night on too many lagers, and like the bike fell on him, and that's why he's riding bitch. You don't know, but it's hard. This is the biggest part of the problem with this villain is that if you know bikers, and I know a few. If you got a villain like that and he's not on a bike, if he's sitting in a fucking sidecar, it's kind of hard to take him seriously, okay?
Yeah.
Unless he's like fucking 85 and he can't ride no more, which would be another thing to explain. But maybe he needed a slight limp to go with the albino skin in the punch.
I mean, the bikers have been taking over this town for like the last 400 years. So, I mean, he could be Dracula. He could be like albino Dracula.
And here's the thing. They have access to automatic weapons, which they employ at our friend Will's ranch here, to fuck shit up. Because of course they have no, because he's booby-trapped this whole place, they have no choice but to throw Molotov cocktails and to shoot holes in the windows. Which, in this film, the Hoff doesn't give a fuck about no fucking windows. This is his house. And every chance he gets, he's fucking busting out a window so he can get a better view to shoot people with.
I think he broke that front window 4 separate times.
He's like, man, fucking glass in my way, crash, man.
At one point, they throw a guy through a window, right?
Yeah, I think so.
No, doesn't he shoot? Okay, a guy is on fire and he runs into the house.
I love
it. And Hasselhoff shoots a man on fire, which apparently lifts him up and out of a window without so much as a care in the world. It is insane.
Because physics, John. Because if you're on fire, you become lighter than air, apparently. You just fly through windows. And the thing is,
I'm sorry, that wasn't a human being that was on fire. That was apparently like a Roman candle or whatever. What are those things that float off into the night sky? Like Chinese lanterns? What are they? Whatever they are. The lanterns?
Yeah.
Whatever they are. Yeah. Because he's on fire, he immediately becomes like a lantern and just flies out the window.
He has so much pride in his home, apparently, that he doesn't paint over the gang members' insignia on the wall, but he has a whole montage where he's cleaning up his old ranch house.
Oh, can we talk about the montage where he goes up the water tower and is just randomly tightening a bolt? Like, what?
It's like, we gotta get things done. You're to assume that the bikers have turned this into like their own personal flop house.
Right.
But there's like no cum-stained mattress on the floor. Like
he
no
burns all of those.
No random female laying about. Just this one random dude running up to say, "Hey, what's up? This is my house." You know.
Yeah, and could they not have sent a more imposing biker the first time? They sent like the weakling. It looks like the biker that they keep around as a joke, that they pass around on the road as like a road bitch because they can't find any real women. He looked like the guy in prison who was passed around the cell blocks for blowies and hand jobs.
You know, they bring up, you know, the whole fact that these things, people have access to drugs, they're selling drugs, they're selling guns, but the whole time they're like running scared. Even Saxon Ghost is not even really that of an imposing villain, because considering, you know, how much power they have in this small town. You know, they have access to all this stuff, and again, not one fucking hair doped out girl on a fucking mattress in this. It's not a proper biker flop house.
Not at all.
Without at least one, you know, half drunk or probably all the way high girl on a mattress in it. Come on now.
Your review should just be 2.5 stars. No girls on mattresses anywhere to be found.
There's at least 60% less semen in this film than it should properly be.
Yeah, but except that Ghost is the only one allowed to have any sex, and when he's having sex, it's just puffs of dust.
Oh god!
It's just like a chalk-like substance.
No, I'm picturing fucking powder ejaculate coming from albino. Fucking god damn it! But.
Yeah, what, John's Little Saxon, you mean?
John's Little Saxon, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the bikers are not that imposing, and Bo Hopkins is hamming it up. I mean, they're all hamming it up, but
Hopkins in that 3-piece suit, man, what, cutting a dash. Yeah,
you don't see that too often.
No.
But you expect, you know, for somebody who has such a hold on, you know, this small but it looks for a really large town, you know, they did a good job at making Johannesburg, South Africa look like freaking Arizona, I guess, or wherever the fuck they are.
Is that where it was made? It was made in South Africa?
It says Johannesburg, South Africa.
Wow. Yeah, they did pretty well then.
Also known as Tiger Man, by the way, you know, because why not?
Why not? I thought it looked, weirdly, if someone had told me it was shot in Australia or New Zealand, I would have bought it, because the town certainly has that sort of early Australian kind of Western town sort of look and feel to it.
Oh yeah, yeah, but this has, you know, it has all the elements that you would love, you would expect from a film like this. I mean, the Hop is looking very, very, very rugged. You know, it is leathers and denim. A lot of leathers and denim in this movie. Yeah, I can always appreciate that. And but he just kind of looks like if Michael Knight kind of got run down and, like, you know, said, you know what, I'm gonna go back to my hometown and it's kind of fucked up now. Let me try to fix it. You know,
it's like Michael Knight if Michael Knight had been on a 5-year bender. Yep. with Hunter S. Thompson and John Belushi and Peter O'Toole.
You know, he looks like Neil Diamond, the jazz singer, after he decides to go on the road, and, you know, then later find out he had a baby. You know?
He looks like Neil Diamond and the jazz singer. In fact, I think that's who Hasselhoff modeled his look and feel on. I mean, if you had told me this was an Australian movie, I would have bought it. South African, I don't buy it. But I mean, okay. I just would have. It's really good, but when you consider it comes out a year after Roadhouse, I'd rather watch Roadhouse.
This is true. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, the character of Will Colton, who was a horse wrangler, demolitions expert, former soldier, and sword hard
sharpshooter,
a freaking paratrooper. I expect
by the way, there's no way that you could parachute out of a plane that had barely taken off. When he parachutes out of that plane, that's like 100 feet off the ground. That's like there's no way you can do that.
He did it for dramatic and hilarious effects. Come on now,
Right.
Yeah. That all these things, you buy it because it's the Hoff, and he's got a fucking puma or a cougar, whatever it is, and he just the man comes to town.
It's basically He-Man. I mean, it's He-Man and Battle Cat is what it is.
And the man starts some shit, and you have some really unimposing villains. That's where this difference between Stone Cold and Roadhouse is that the villains are kind of lackluster, and it's played by two very big genre heavies in Bo Hopkins and John Saxon, but you expect a little more opposition to the man here who's just one man at the end of the day.
I would have liked to have seen Bo Hopkins be more maniacal
until the end where they had the big showdown, and it was like, Molotov cocktails, my only weakness.
I think they need to release Baywatch Nights on Blu-ray.
Oh yeah, because that was like the supernatural one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the one where like Mitch from Baywatch fought vampires and shit.
Yes.
Which is the greatest. I mean, come on, people. Can't we get some fucking shows like that again? Where people just go like, I don't know, what if the Golden Girls ran a prostitution ring? Or what if they went on the run with a puma?
Oh, if you didn't think the Blanche ran a brothel in the 50s or something, I think you'd be okay.
You could do also, I would say this. While I'm not going to say that, by the way, the other David Hasselhoff, Linda Blair movie is called Bailout, but for some reason, IMDb has it under WB Blue and the Bean, which is hilarious because all the posters and DVD covers and everything that they're showing in the photos all say Bailout. So if it was ever called WB Blue and the Bean, I don't know where it was called that because everywhere I've ever seen it's called Bailout. So Bailout was the other one. I like Bailout. Bailout wasn't bad. I think Bailout is still beats this by a little bit. Witchery is probably right on the same level as this. And then Terror at London Bridge, I mean, that is just a delight.
Is that the Jack the Ripper one where he plays Jack the Ripper?
That's where Jack the Ripper's soul was in London Bridge, and when they moved it out to, is it Lake Havasu it's in? I think London Bridge was brought over here piece by piece and put together back over Lake Havasu, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe that's right. And when they did that, it unleashed the soul of Jack the Ripper. And is it Arizona or California? Anyway, it's one of those places, and Jack the Ripper goes mental. Yes.
It's that sounds nuts. Yeah, I gotta check that out one day.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's a really great movie. We covered it previously on the show with I think 2 of the 3 Black Geeks and Mosef von Helveder.
Oh yeah. 3 Black Geeks are holding it down. I don't know if they put a show on in a while, but I still see them post stuff.
Yeah, no, they're great. They're fantastic. The best thing about Terror at London Bridge, the director is named E.W. Swackheimer.
Nice.
E.W. Swackheimer.
I don't know if that's Dick Moss good, but there's not many better things than Dick Moss as a director's name.
Yeah, Lake Havasu, Arizona. Come on now. What did I say, Gary? Lake Havasu, Arizona.
You called
it. Calling it, dude. I'm a fountain of useless fucking knowledge.
One day I'll visit there and maybe bring cat, a large cat pass, possibly. But
imagine if Hasselhoff held like a Hoff event at Lake Havasu, like a Hoff-Off or a Hoff-Fest, And it was just all David Hasselhoff films set at the location of Terror at London Bridge.
That would just give an excuse for random douchebags to bring Trans Ams out into the world again, and to say, check out my Trans Am. It's got this size engine. No, check out my Trans Am. And,
The only person who wins is the person who shows up in a Trans Am, but with a mountain lion.
That's like every cruise I've been to, except minus the mountain lion, Just, last time I saw a Judge, that was a pretty cool car, but I digress. Any final things you want to say about the Final Alliance, sir?
No, it's a solid 3-star. It's a keeper, and I had a lot of fun with it. But I just always want Hoff to give it that extra cheese whiz, and he just doesn't here. But apart from that, I'm enjoying how just none of it makes a lick of fucking sense.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, it's true. I'm right there with you with that 3 out of 5. It is definitely a keeper, and I recommend you go check it out. It's available on Tubi, and it's stupid fun. And then what better thing you could be doing with 90 minutes of your time to go watch the Final Alliance from 1990? I don't know many things, but
Also, riddle me this, Batman. Yep. Why did MGM clearly pay for the film to be upgraded at least to DVD standard, if not 1080p, but then only put it on streaming? Why have we not got a delicious Shout Factory Blu-ray with lots of extra Hoff features for this movie? Because I think it's dying for it.
Yeah, well, if you can get the Hoff to talk about the Final Alliance, I would be incredibly intrigued. But because he's a busy guy doing German things and dancing and singing and stuff. But I would look forward to that. A big release of this, and maybe one day. I never say never.
No,
like this, because it's those hidden gems that you discover, and
I'm saying they put it like they clearly did a remaster of it because it's on MGM Plus.
Oh yeah, it looks good. The print I saw on Tubi, I guess, is available on Prime as well. I had no idea, but
only on the MGM channel. You'd have to subscribe.
I gotcha. But
maybe it is included with Prime as well. I don't know. Huh?
Yeah, that's a. Don't figure it out. Listen to this.
Listen, go out, watch it. It's fantastic. It's the Hoff. It's Albino Saxon. It's spuffing up chalk dust and riding bitch in a sidecar.
Oh, I want to see him shake his head once, see how much dust falls out of that head. He wants to shake his head one time.
Yeah, Saxon just slept in a tub of talcum powder.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but that's it for this one, and we'll need a break.
This is the future, and it's up for grabs. Doomsday is history. Only the strong survive. All that stands between civilization and chaos are wheels of fire and a stranger who drives as if there's no tomorrow, because there may not be one. Wheels of fire. Attack! They're ruthless animals on a desert rampage, and they've got his sister. Put her down.
She's not going to be the same, Praise. I've seen what these people can do to a woman.
No ordinary man could save her, but this is no ordinary man. Where is she, Spike?
The fortress.
Fire! One last hero making one last stand.
I'm gonna get her back.
This is the future. It's every man for himself. Time is running out. It's a world without laws, without justice. There are no rules. Nothing can stop the vicious road scum who ravage the wasteland in machines of destruction. The ultimate confrontation between good and evil. nothing can stop his wheels of fire. When the heat is on, he'll go the distance. Wheels of fire.
And yeah, we're back now, and John Cross has informed me he has some hot off the press news items to discuss with us. So I think go for it, man.
I mean, apparently it was posted yesterday at almost 2 p.m. So it's not that hot off the presses, and probably everyone already knows it. But I'm seeing for the first time right now that Jamie Lee Curtis will reportedly star as Jessica Fletcher in a Murder, She Wrote movie. Yes, I am here for it, Gary. I am here for Murder, She Wrote on the big screen. What say you?
Well, yeah, they got the perfect person for it, I'd say. Yeah,
right?
To match that snark of one Jessica Fletcher. And
oh, I mean, Lansbury is a consummate professional.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Lansbury made the role her own.
I've been enjoying the Matlock series with Kathy Bates, actually.
Yeah?
It's not bad.
It's not, though, Jamie Lee Curtis in a big screen Murder, She Wrote. I mean, I love shit like that. I love detective stuff. I love the resurgence of like detective films that we've had lately. I want a new detective film every 10 minutes. They're my favorite genre. And Jamie Lee Curtis as Jessica Fletcher. Oh, that's going to be glorious. She'll go to her cousin's wedding or something, and then while she's there, someone who's like a random relative of a friend of hers will die, and they'll eat a lot of cake. And oh man, I'm so looking forward to it.
It's like New Fletch. You know, people didn't have a lot of faith that John Hamm was going to be good in it. I
liked it.
I liked it too. I don't think a lot of folks have seen it though, and that's not really fair. You know.
Well, you know, it's such is the world now. But listen, I'm open to, dude. I think that just made my year.
It's a very cool idea. Yeah, I love to see how they execute it.
She's been killing it though.
Yeah, she.
I mean, Lee Curtis has just come back on a hot streak, hasn't she?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, she's like the A-list female version of Nick Cage.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? She's doing weird shit. She's trying different things. I don't know. I just think it's so wonderful. I'm so happy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it sounds incredible. I'm looking forward to it. But you know, Queen of Screams and just all around goodness aside, this is a special time of the show when me and John Cross get together, where we get impregnated by one master thespian with a certain amount of swagger that, you know, when he steps in a room, all the people get pregnant. And we get in the parade way.
We're in the parade way. Every night and every day. I don't care what you say. We're not listening anyway. It's Gary and Jon who won't get along. We're in the parade way. Okay. It's a game that we have to play. We both look like on the parade. This is how we will stay. I don't know how better to convey. So I put it in song that Gary and Jon are where they belong. They're in the parade way.
And in this movie, every single person would be in the parade way if you saw the shirtless sequence.
Oh yeah, definitely. But the film that John chose, we switched it up this time around. I love this concept. It's called World Gone Wild. It's from 1987.
Welcome to the 21st century. To a bad case of future shock. A taste of frenzy fever. It's hell on earth. It's a world gone wild. There remains one last twisted piece of paradise that a bunch of stoned out flower children call home. But not for long. because they're about to get a visit from a group that's got a rude attitude.
Let us pray. Let's all go to hell together. Magic time.
Bruce Dern, Michael Paré, Catherine Mary Stewart, and Adam Ant in a world gone wild.
This is directed by Lee H. Katzin, who also did a bunch of TV. So both these guys have done a lot of TV. Oh, this guy's a lot more seasoned than our last director.
So what did you receive today from me in the mail? Because this is where the connection comes from.
I got some Larry Cohen laserdiscs from you. God told me to, and the great Q the Winged Serpent.
And what is the first credit that Lee H. Katzin has? Branded. Written by Larry Cohen.
He didn't write the bulk of the series, apparently, though. He just wrote episodes.
You are referencing the scene in Big Lebowski.
Yes, indeed. You know.
Yeah.
Bulk of the series, dude. Bulk of the series.
Yeah.
You know? If you look at it, though, that's the first thing he did. Wild Wild West 2 episodes. The Rat Patrol 7 episodes. That's a great wartime show. If you don't know what that is. Apparently, Hondo had 2 TV shows. Hondo the Apaches had a TV movie. I'm sorry, and then Hondo the TV show. Mannix, It Takes a Thief, Mission Impossible, The Mod Squad. We just lost a cast member from that show. The male lead from that show just passed away. It did some pretty interesting looking TV movies that I'm gonna look for. I think I've heard of Whatever Happened to Alice, but he did that, and you go further in the 80s, McMillan and Wife, which is an underrated TV show. It's just the list goes on, and this is one that I recommended to another friend. It was a TV movie from 1978 called Zuma Beach, which is John Carpenter has a writing credit on this movie. It's just like a beach movie that stars a bunch of genre people that you know. Suzanne Summers is in this. Kimberly Beck from Friday the 13th is in this. Michael Biehn shows up in this movie. Rosanna Arquette, Tanya Roberts, PJ Souls. So, but a bunch of genre folks you know are in this movie. I recommend it to my friend Greg Mortis from Land of the Creeps to check this out, because I haven't seen it, so I needed him to report back to me, and he hasn't yet, which means he's still collecting dust on his shelf somewhere. This movie, but I thought it was important to bring up. But he did.
Look at this! That's crazy. Zuma Beach.
Yeah.
Written by John Carpenter, like John Carpenter.
John Carpenter, yes. Well, he had a writing credit on it. I think he had a few writers.
Yeah, but that's hilarious.
He probably wrote a draft somewhere, and then was redone by 2 other writers. Who knows?
I'd like to point out, though, as I looked closer at it, that nobody in the history of the TV show Branded wrote the bulk of the series.
Oh, that's very disappointing.
John, in fact, Larry Cohen wrote more than anyone else. So he wrote the story for 7 episodes and the teleplay for 3 episodes, and created the whole series. John Wilder wrote 4 episodes, the story for 1 and the teleplay for 3.
Speaking of great stuff that freaking Branded the Hoff, Greg A. Larson created Automan, starring the great Desi Arnaz Jr. and Chuck Wagner, apparently.
Yeah.
And he directed 1 episode of this as well, of Automan. If you guys know what that is, you know.
Lee H. Katzin gets around, baby.
He does get around, and it goes back to this too. We'll talk about it, cast. Remember, 3 episodes of In the Heat of the Night TV show, which played constantly in my grandmother's house.
Oh yeah, so, Heat of the Night's great.
We'll get into the sultriness of one Alan Autry in a minute here, for sure. You know,
indeed, and written by Jorge Zamacona. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Jorge Zamacona, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, he has written on some of my favorite old-time TV shows.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Homicide: Life on the Street.
Nice.
Which I loved. The Unusuals, which I loved. Millennium. What else? Law and Order. Organized Crime. Law and Order, the original TV series. Some Elsewhere. I mean, this guy's written some great shit.
That and Homicide go together because Munch from Homicide from Law and Order originated on Homicide: Life on the Streets, which was a long TV series for a long time, but is now streaming on Peacock. If you're interested in watching a great TV show,
I've had the DVD box set since I moved to the States 17 years ago, and I was able to find them in Barnes and Noble in Las Vegas.
The late great Andre Braugher is starring in that TV show with some other amazing genre people. It's surprising, in Homicide: Life on the Streets.
Oh, Melissa, who she's gone mainstream now. She's in a bunch of stuff. Melissa, what's her name? I can't think of her last name.
Oh, Yaphet Kotto. Okay, he's on Homicide: Life on the Streets.
Yaphet Kotto is incredible. He's in all 122 episodes. Melissa Leo is who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, she was working for a while there for sure.
Belzer, of course. Belzer, I believe, Detective John Munch. I believe Belzer is in the record books for having played that character in more TV shows than anybody else has played a character within a TV show.
The Bells was working as Detective Munch for sure, man.
He was. He did. He's only one of 4 cast members to do all 122 episodes of Homicide: Life on the Street, as well as playing John Munch, I think, in every iteration of Law and Order.
I mean, like Tim Thomerson was a comedian first, and I think, it really helps with his snarkiness. We could go explore the career of Tim Thomerson for hours and hours and hours and hours. By the way, Trancers is a Christmas movie. Go watch it this holiday season. I think that really helped with the Munch character's snarkiness on those various series. Him having great comedic timing as well.
Oh yeah, I mean it's an absolute delight. Homicide, if you haven't seen, and what a soundtrack as well. Oh my God, some of the best indie 90s music in the history of television. Like this is a TV show in which the Eels are like part of the soundtrack. Like that's how fucking cool Homicide: Life on the Street was.
Yeah, but this film though, I'll give you the cheapo plot synopsis of it. In the nuclear ravaged wasteland of Earth to 2087, like it's the 2087th Earth, the way this is written. Water is as precious as life itself. The isolated, lost Wells outpost survived the Holocaust, and the inhabitants guard the source of their existence. Now, an evil cult of renegades want control of their valuable water supply, and the villagers are no match for such a brute military force. Only one man can help the stricken community, a mercenary living in a distant cannibal city, but even he and his strange henchmen may not be enough to survive in a world gone wild. Written by Jonas Irve at mailbox.swipenet.se. Grammatical errors and all. But it hits all the notes there, I think, in my opinion.
Dude, I'm sorry, can we, right off the bat, we've got to talk about the world gone wild, like 80s pop anthem that plays over the titles.
Oh, yeah.
That is, I mean, dude, that was some kind of, I love it when B movies decide to go all out and have their own like Bond style theme song where someone sings the title of the movie. That doesn't happen in many movies, but like when a B movie just wants to go all out, they're like, fuck it, we're gonna do, it's like when horror suddenly started having like raps at the end of the films. You know what I mean? Like Maniac Cop 2 has a rap.
Oh yeah. Was it he'll get an Uzi and find you in a jacuzzi? Is that part of the Maniac Cop rap?
Yeah, I think it's like stab him with a knife, shoot him with an Uzi, he'll show up in your jacuzzi, something like that. But I love it, dude, because it what it says to me is that the aspirations for World Gone Wild were way beyond anything they could have ever achieved. But they were like, fuck it, we're gonna have someone write a World Gone Wild song that's a bit of an earworm, it's a bit catchy, it's a bit fucking cool, and we're gonna do like some sort of subpar, sort of 80s hair metal version of it, and that's just gonna open the movie as if World Gone Wild was like a phrase that people used all the time, and this was just a regular pop song and not some song that was written specifically for a movie called World Gone Wild. I love it.
Yes. Written by Michael DeBar, who's a big musician in like metal music. Horcred goes to him as being part of the Dudes of Wrath in the Shocker soundtrack, and of course he plays as an actor. I got to talk to him about this as the evil dead uncle in Ghoulies. He played the sorcerer in Ghoulies.
Nice, very cool.
He still looks very ruggedly handsome in his leather jacket, by the way. I'm just gonna throw it out there. But
nice.
yes.
Oh, and he worked with the guy who did the soundtrack, Lawrence Tuber.
Oh yeah, so yeah, you get musicians behind this, and I think the soundtrack shows. But we gotta get to this big ass cast because it's kind of wonderful. You got fucking dirty hippie Bruce Dern in this film as Ethan, just durning it up in this fucking doing all kinds of dirns. This fucking bitch right here.
Yeah. He definitely got paid in drugs for this movie.
Yes.
He 1000% got paid in drugs.
Michael Pare as I wouldn't call him a drifter. He's just kind of like this guy that used to live in their village when they went and got back again, as George Landon, our hero of sorts. There's lots of heroes in this film, people. The great Catherine Mary Stewart as Angie. You know her from Last Starfighter and Night of the Comet and Weekend at Bernie's, and of course The Apple. If you guys haven't seen The Apple, treat yourself, in my opinion, people. It's just all I'll say about that. Rock star and singer of Goody Little Two Shoes. You guys know the song. Adam Ant, a non-actor in this, but just devouring the scenery as Derek Abernathy, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you know? He's
chewing it up, spitting it out, and Bruce Dern is rolling it up and smoking it.
Yes, indeed. Genre legend again, Anthony James as 10 Watt, Rick Podell as X-Line, I forget his name.
X-Line.
Yeah. The amazing and wonderful King of Converse, Julius Carey as Nitro, wearing some hot purple spandex. We'll talk about that, man. Got a head dressing and some purple spandex. Like he's gonna go out solid gold or something.
He looks like the rubberiest knight in the kingdom. Yes. He looks like he looks like the jester's bitch is what he looks like.
Yes.
The jester's gimp. If like a medieval jester at a Renaissance fair was like, bring out the gimp, that's what he would be wearing. I'm not saying Julius Carey looks like a gimp. I'm saying what he's wearing is like a medieval Renaissance fair gimp costume.
It is so out of the character of this movie, but you know what? You buy it because it's fucking showing off wearing this fucking purple,
dressed like a giant vibrator.
The thing that Bon Jovi would not put out in 1986. He would not do this, you know. But it's. I had to mention this because Alan Autry, why he's so important? Because if you were live in the 80s and you watch the night in Heat of the Night, whether in reruns or in first runs, this was your grandma and your mother's boyfriend at the time. Because if you look at the IMDb photo, his arms are so hairy they could probably crush and smother your fucking head. Yeah. I mean, I remember my grandmother, because she would watch this and she would watch Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman with Joe Lando, and these were like her two boyfriends.
Right.
You know, Deputy Bubba from Sparta, Georgia, from In the Heat of the Night. And that guy that banged Dr. Quinn was like her mans, my grandmother's mans. So I know Alan Autry all too well, and I'm sure if Jamie Sammons was listening, she'd be thinking about Alan Autry a lot too, because I think more than once was brought up on this program about the majesty of Alan Autry.
Jamie, I hope you're listening, and I hope you're doing well, and I miss you.
Yes, we all do. I did. I miss the the Jammins right there, as she would be called.
The Jammins.
The Jammins.
Yes, well, yeah, she should definitely be in touch. Get in touch. Email me or something. But yes, we love Alan Autry. That's what it's all about. We're big fans of the Autster and his hairy arms, his Robin Williams arms.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the perfect way to describe a male with hairy arms. I mean, that guy's got Robin Williams arms. They'll pop in the brain, and not think about Alan Autry, but think about Robin Williams and his hairy ass arms.
Exactly.
But
oh, and weirdly enough, he was in Popeye with Hairy Arms Williams.
Oh, so it was a battle of the hairy arms then.
Yeah. I don't know if he had a literal fight with Robin Williams over whose arms were the hairiest. I will have to get back to you with that one, Gary. But I've got to imagine that came up. I've got to imagine there was a drunken brawl at some point.
Robin Williams definitely had more tumors on his arms in that movie, though, because that's one of the best Family Guy jokes ever. Is when Popeye goes to the doctor and they're like, "You got these massive tumors all over your arms. How have you not noticed this?" It's just it's so stupid, but it's funny as hell. But this was John's pick, and what a pick it is. Lay it down for us, brother. Well, why World Gone Wild?
Well, because listen, I'm a sucker. First of all, the cast. Second of all, I am a sucker for 80s and late 70s post-apocalyptic movies. One of the things, in fact, what I'm going to do right now to break it down is I'm going to read my thoughts immediately post watching the movie last night, if you don't mind. I'm going to read them out. If you ever want to loathe humanity, watch the mad, mind-blowing, random as all get out, weird, whacked out, post-apocalyptic joy that is World Gone Wild, and then read the wrong-headed, frankly baffling, and completely incorrect opinions of the people who have given it stupidly low ratings on IMDb. Clearly, anyone who would give this a low mark has either not seen a lot of low-budget post-apocalyptic movies or is a terrible person who hates life. For example, if your review calls this a Mad Max ripoff, then I know you're full of crap. We know that a lot of the post-apocalyptic movies in the 80s were heavily influenced by Mad Max, just like the fantasy sword and sandal revival was down to Conan, and the slasher genre was built on the backs of Psycho, Texas Chainsaw, and Black Christmas. Wait till you find out how many films used the Die Hard model after Die Hard came out. Saying this shit neither makes you clever or particularly knowledgeable, so fucking can it. If you have seen Stryker, The New Barbarians, Raiders of Atlantis, or 2020 Texas Gladiators, then you'd know greatest when you'd see it. Unlike a lot of similar movies, well, I don't know what I mean by that. Then you'd know greatest. Then you'd know. I think I'm trying to say, like, I wrote this when I was very tired. I think I'm trying to say then you would know a good thing when you see it. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, unlike a lot of similar movies, World Gone Wild barrels along nicely with a simple but stuck-to story, some eclectic but brilliant casting, a hodgepodge of 60s post-hippie references, exploding thingies, mass death, and a motley band of crooks, thieves, magicians, and cannibals just trying to make it in this burnt-out husk of a world, who each find a reason not to be jerks anymore and fight for the protection of the people and not just protection of the water. It's so good. Lots of action, lots of parade, a glorious sprinkling of Bruce Dern, a teeth-grating amount of adamant, and some costumes and set dressing that, while cheap, feels authentic and properly rags of the old world style futuristic, rather than just a lot of football shoulder pads and leather shorts. Anyway, I enjoyed it because, having sat through, say, an Albert Pyon version of this story, where you marvel at its punk aesthetic but not much else, seeing a movie trying to pull off character arcs, allegory and metaphor, fun action set pieces, a little love story, and a world where the writer has bothered to truly think about stuff like the education levels of characters, etc., is a sheer joy and gets a huge thumbs up from me. So, Gary, you can see right off the bat that I'm an enormous fan of this film. You can also feel that I feel that in order to truly appreciate the greatness of this movie, you need to have seen some of the other bad examples of this, and even some of the other good ones. Raiders of Atlantis, for example, is one of my favorite of all time. I absolutely love that movie. And if you've watched that and watched this, you can see why Those are my favorites because they barrel along. There's lots of action. There's lots of weird stuff happening. They've bothered to throw some ideas in there. There's little nods to pop culture. There's, metaphor and stuff. It's just very, very cool. And the more I thought about this movie, the more I liked it. And then, you throw in a cast like we ran down: Bruce Dern, Mark Prey, Catherine Mary Stewart, Adam Ant, Anthony James, Julius Carey, and Alan Autry. When you start like knocking names like that around, I mean, there's no bad here. There's just no bad here. I mean, yes, you can pick holes in it, and this feels a bit like ripped off here and ripped off there. Listen, there are so many post-apocalyptic movies that you can no longer call one made, in 1988 a ripoff, because it's not like it's at that point it's just part of a genre. And I think, considering all the ones that I've seen, this is one of the better ones. This is up there for me with Raiders of Atlantis and the Ginty Pleasance. Oh, what's it called? I know everyone hates it, but Warrior of the Lost World. I think Warrior of the Lost World is tons of fucking fun. It's way better than any of the other Fred the Hammer Williamson Italian post-apocalyptic movies. And then you've also got Donald Pleasance and Robert Ginty. Come on now, what's there not to love? Anyone who's ironically watching that movie needs a good smack round the face. But World Gone Wild, it's up there, man. Love it. Great cast. Great, and I love the whole premise, the whole idea that like Adam Ant is this sort of weird preacher who's discovered the writings of Charles Manson as if it was the way that we all discovered the Bible or whatever. Like, I love that. Like, that's just a fucking neat bunch of information to put in a movie that doesn't necessarily need it. You could just be like, he's the bad guy. He's an albino or whatever, like they did with Final Alliance. You could just be like, well, he's an albino, so he must be awful. And then you could just get on with it. But no, they imbue all their characters with a lot of great backstory and motivation and humanity. I loved it.
Apparently, Adam Ant did a lot more stuff than I thought he did. I mean, he was in one episode of The Equalizer. With
everyone who was alive when The Equalizer was on TV was in The Equalizer. It was like the Law and Order of its day,
Yes, indeed. The original Equalizer, we should say.
Of course, the proper one.
Nomads with Pierce Brosnan, which I haven't watched in a long time. I couldn't tell you what it was. This sticks out for me. One of my favorite episodes of Amazing Stories he was in, and I love Amazing Stories to death. But he acted in a whole lot of stuff that I didn't realize that he was in. This is the one that I've seen the box art for, but never watched a film called Spellcaster from 1988. He was in that movie. So after watching this, though, I would be in for some more Adam Ant performances, because this is basically his big leading man debut, if you will, in a film. And I know you being the front man of stuff. I mean, even Mick Jagger in Free Jack, as terrible as folks say Free Jack is, and I'm not one that subscribes to how terrible Free Jack is, like they say. He is pretty charismatic, and I think him being a front man, Mick Jagger and Adam Ant respectively, really, really brings to the board to say, what, this is the role you're playing, now go out and play it. And he really owns this Derek Abernathy, man, preacher, cult leader person, and takes the full tilt, man. I love it.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the reasons to watch this movie. But I also think that considering they clearly had a hilltop adjacent to a junkyard in the middle of wherever, New Mexico or something, wherever it was filmed. Considering that's all they had, what they created, because I often feel this way, and I sort of mention it in my review about Albert Pine Joints or Pune Joints. I like the aesthetic of them. Like, I get what he's trying to do, and often he's working with slightly more budget than they have for this one, but obviously not as much budget as the big boys have. And I sort of like his aesthetic, but I always I find his storytelling not very good at all. I'm often confused, bored, or restless in an Albert Pine Joint. What I love about this movie, it does just about that sort of punk, grimy, post-apocalyptic aesthetic, just about, clearly on a very cheap budget. But it barrels along. The characters are great. There's a story you can hang your hat on. You know what I mean?
This has the advantage of like having like, I guess, more charismatic actors as far as like being able to hold their own in it than most post-apocalyptic film, which you'll have like a character we'll call him Bullethead, you know, which is played by a random guy in fucking, you know,
Italy.
New Zealand, you know, or Italy or something, you know, dubbed over, of course, who may not have like the acting experience that a Bruce Dern has, or Catherine Mary Stewart at this point, she's done many things that are decent since she's done Dudes by now, which is a favorite of mine I didn't mention, and
Dudes, I love Dudes. Big fan of Dudes.
Yeah, you don't have the acting, you know, power you have in this movie. Whereas, you know, a lot of those ones seem pretty cheesy and seem very low budget. It's not really fair to align, you know, out of the 278 Mad Max ripoffs that they made. It's kind of like the werewolf discussion we had. There may be like 40 of them that are good, you know. It's not really fair to these IMDb people to saying, "Hey, this is awful." I was like, "You think this is awful? Let me show you this shit." You know,
right.
I sat through, I don't know, Warriors of the 18th Century, you know, starring, you know, I don't even know. I'm not making up names again, of course, but that's going to be a lot worse than, you know, some of the good ones, obviously. But this is one of the good ones, and yeah, just stop it, you fucking dickheads, you know.
Yeah. No, I just like to basically say, look, you clearly haven't watched the shit that we've watched. We're better than you. Shut the fuck up, children. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I just want to exert my inner Gen X angry bastard.
And you should, because, you know, it's like the whole, you know, we hate movies aspect of it. Like, no, they're lower knowledgeable. How did this get made? We'll use that analogy again, of where somebody says, "Hey, watch this movie," or "Hey, this film is on Mystery Science Theater 3000, so it must be terrible." That's not always the case, though. You know.
In fact, I think Mystery Science Theater is terrible, and a lot of the movies that are on Mystery Science Theater are fantastic.
Yeah, it's some of them are. Yeah, I mean, some are outright shit, you know, but you do find those gems in here, and yeah. But this film, though, like I said, they you could tell they had like a small set, you know, which is mostly this camp, and I guess in a random warehouse they rented to film the cult scenes. And of course, you know, the scenes where they find Michael Pare out in the wild, and which I love. I love his introduction, and again, you get some good Pare in this movie. You get some good.
Well, they go to the city, right? Isn't he in the city?
Yeah, he's in the city. He's out there, you know, living, trying to get water or whatnot, and
well, he's hidden amongst the government. You know, there's some idea that there's sort of this government or maybe corporate operation that drives around handing out water to a world that has no water, but only for like water dollars or whatever. And Pare is disguised as one of these guys and ends up like heisting the water or taking it over or giving it out to people or whatever it is he does.
Yeah, you're living, you know, in a Tank Girl / Solar Baby / any film that doesn't have water. It hasn't rained in 50 years, they say. So, you know, yeah, no spunky kids doing stuff in this film, though. You know, it's like Solar Babies. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know that the human race could exist 50 years without water. We can't, as animals, even exist 2 days without water. I don't believe. But there is water, so it's just it hasn't rained in 50 years.
That's rained in 50 years, yeah.
Yeah, but there's apparently still water, and it isn't contaminated by nuclear radiation, apparently.
Which is worse for your crops than, you know, a tainted virgin in The Wicker Man. Come on now, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you look too closely at the whole "it hasn't rained in 50 years" thing, I'm not buying it. You know what I mean? Like 2 days without water and you're dead. There's none of this, well, you don't have water ducats and therefore you can't have water. Like, well, then I'm dead then. You know what I mean? Like, you're just killing your workforce.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And they don't say that water is scarce. It's just controlled. You know, like they're fucking a Morton Joe or something. In Mad Max Fury Road, there's people that have control of the water, and this is why it's so precious. You know, and when they don't have water, obviously they go crazy, like the fuckers that want the Soylent Green in that movie, and you know, because you need water to live, obviously. But
Right. Yeah, you can tell the people who reviewed this movie whose first Mad Max film was Fury Road, because they think that all Mad Max films are like Fury Road. They don't seem to understand that no previous Mad Max movie was anything like really Fury Road. I mean, there's elements of it in the third one, but in general, the world of Fury Road is almost more advanced than the world of the other two.
Oh yeah, yeah. But this is I love the whole world it creates and how it's all built into there. They're just real simple folks who are trying to rebuild civilization. I guess after everybody died of fucking dehydration. I guess I don't know how this works, but apparently Adam Ant is as Derek Abernathy, the preacher, is trying to rebuild society by stealing women from villages and I guess fucking to make new children. They don't really establish all that. You know,
he's stealing healthy young men.
Yeah.
And he steals a woman. We don't know if he's stolen women previously, but he steals a woman from
there is just that one woman, isn't there? That's all there is.
Yeah.
You know, how many babies can that woman produce? You know?
Yeah, I'm not sure it was a baby thing. I mean, maybe it was, but I think it was more a opportunistic sexual thing, because maybe like he has all of his followers / army are male, I believe, and
definitely
they're all brainwashed, which we see because he steals 3 of the growing lads from Lost Wells, which is the car city that has the water, I guess, that they're all living out in the desert. And he steals this woman, but he steals 3 guys, and then towards the end, you can tell that they're completely brainwashed on his side.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. The whole world that builds with that, and the whole world that everybody's out there, you know, to get their own, and the fact that you know they had this whole thing where they said Ethan sets up George, who's Michael Pare, to be the foil in this scam to where they're having shootouts with a, I don't even know, like a Wyatt Earp looking motherfucker to say, hey, he's the sharpest gunman in the West or something, and he's killed 2,000 people. Who would like to be 2001? And not that I'm getting the number wrong, of course. And that whole introduction of them, and you know, Ethan noticing, hey, you know, curtains don't have feet, so they see the scam, which is a guy behind the curtain that is making these amazing shots and killing all these people, and that's actually set up, you know, to put all these characters together. You know, Nitro, played by Julius Carey, and of course, the Anthony James character, who's like our fake cowboy / a builder of liquor out of garbage and whatever he builds out of. You know?
Garbage and lube, because apparently they have plenty of oil. Car oil, you know.
Oh yeah,
Castrol X or whatever they have.
But it's an excellent, you know, way to bring these characters together, and of course, it's a very simple film because you basically have, you know, the initial attack, and then you have, you know, their journey to go find George and you know convince him to be the guy that's going to help them, and collecting these other characters, which played some pretty amazing action set pieces, I'd say, because they once they get in town and you know Derek Abernathy and his group of goons come back.
Abernathy. I love how they give them like ridiculously stupid names in this movie. But yeah, and they use both names as well. They don't just say, "Hi, I'm Derek." He's like, "I am Derek Abernathy," and you know they constantly refer to George as George Landon, not just George. You got to say both names, Gary.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. But yeah, the action set pieces that are set up with you know Julius Carey doing stuff, and bring the townspeople together. It all comes together in a nice stew, which midway through has our hunky Alan Autry depart because he's turns out to be a biker rapist, and he's got to go after that and tries to pull a fucking Judas on the whole village, and doesn't good. That goes nowhere, of course, because
Abernathy's not having that shit.
Derek Abernathy the third, Esquire. It's not that at all whatsoever.
No, he's stringing him upside down with and having stabbed his belly by the looks of it, I think.
Yeah, so you say, with his help of being a raper and just a degenerate, he gets paid back and stabbed and turned upside down. I guess they're for them to drink his blood or bathe in his blood. I don't know. It's just
there's no indication of blood bathing in the movie, but we like to hypothesize.
There's no indication of cannibalism really either. They're just like a bunch of.
There is. There's one.
Oh, there's one. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, with Anthony James, they've killed all these people. They've killed all of Derek Abernathy's gang. They killed a bunch of them. But in the gunfight, like a few of their villagers have also died. And at one point, Anthony James is going to possibly eat part of the body of whatever, and Michael Pare goes, just theirs, meaning you can eat the enemy, but you can't eat our dead.
So when it comes to cannibalism, our boy who's getting us pregnant with every episode here, has morals on who he eats, Well,
no, Pare's not eating anybody, but Pare is just saying to Anthony James, because earlier on they say, he's not coming with us, he's a cannibal. They don't say you're all cannibals, they just go, he's a cannibal.
I got you.
And so Anthony James is the cannibal, but they also refer to it as Cannibal City, so you kind of assume, is everyone there a cannibal? But no, just Anthony James is a cannibal, and when Anthony James goes to eat one of the dead, Michael Pare just goes, make sure it's theirs, don't eat theirs. So I think it's just Pare saying, don't eat our guys, but you can eat all of theirs. It's a hometown buffet for Anthony James that night. You know what I mean? He's just look at all these legs and arms I've got to chow down on.
But there's only one cannibal in the entire village at this point, though.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
Let's just start eating one ass. Where's the rest go? You got to put it in a freezer somewhere. It's just that.
Well, it gets cold at night in the desert.
It's like, hey, you want to get down on some of this ass over here? It's a real feast,
Is that where you think he immediately starts? He doesn't start with the face or the belly or the arm or the leg. He just goes straight to ass.
Well, maybe it's you get a deer, you get the backstrap. That's some fine jerky right there. So there's the backstrap on a human. I couldn't tell you.
That's some fine jerky right there. That is some fine ass jerky.
Which in this realm, in this world that World Gone Wild has given us, I think making jerky out of the human meat is the only viable option to store it. So make some fine beef jerky out of the dead bodies.
Yeah, it's odd, right? Because at what they try and make the wells aspect of it that they're trying to be we don't know why there's water or how there's water or how there continues to be water, but there is water until later on in the movie where Brewster turns the tap off. Apparently they know full well where this water is coming from because there's a fucking tap for it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. They have all this access to water in this village, and it's not like Mad Max where they have supposedly an ample amount of gasoline, and this is why the Lord Humongous wants their village to get all the gasoline. Adamantius wants nubile people to be followers, and I guess find salvation.
He's looking for his camp. He's looking for a place to make his Jonestown, I guess.
But I don't think he knows or even cares about that they have a running supply of such a precious commodity in this world. To say, hey, they have all this water here. If we break in here and make this our crib, that will be our water. Oh, it's not even brought up. that they have.
No,
like,
it's only weirdly enough, it's only brought up by Michael Pere's gang. It's not brought up by Adam Ant's gang. It's brought up by Pere's gang.
Because they're so desperate for water in Cannibal City. You think the cannibals would band together and make this film? Not that it's not interesting right now, but if you had some cannibal attacks on this village, like in the beginning, maybe just to show the severity of the water situation, I think that, you know, if they had some cannibal attacks, you would have just that one. Hey, 10 watts. You want to take a bite out of that ass right there? Make sure it's worth it. Just, you would have just that, but you'd have more world building as far as like that goes, because the Cannibal City just kind of comes and goes, and then it's gone. You know.
Yeah. No, you feel like they could, if they had the budget, you feel like the writer had enough for sort of some kind of ridiculous 3.5-hour epic post-apocalyptic, world building exercise. But what they managed to do in the, lean 90 minutes or whatever it is that they have here is more than most in terms of like world building. Like I loved the whole idea of there being sort of a different education level. And I love the idea of there just being sort of 3 books available to them, and everything they're kind of learning is from these 3 books. And that there's even words that the teacher doesn't know because the words are so archaic at that point that, they only appear in sort of literature from the 20th century. I loved all that stuff. I thought that was such great world building. I loved the fact that there are cars but no clothes, because all the clothes seem to be homemade out of, old rugs and mats and blankets and things. Like they didn't look, they just had like blankets wrapped around them with some, a belt and a little bit of gauze or something. Like it was just all these sort of very, very homemade outfits. So I guess clothes didn't survive there. But it was sort of like one of those, cavemen of the future type thing in a way. Like, they were more advanced than cavemen, but you know what I mean? Like early man, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because they were all kind of, well, in Cannibal City, you kind of had like the primitives, but even then they're not that primitive. They all know, they're all aware of what's going on. They all know that they need water to live and, control the water. But yeah, the people that live in the village though, they are kind of slow in a way, because a lot of these guys, over these last 50 years have only been taught certain things, and even especially the children in time, in town, in the village are, very, very simple, because they have those 3 books to learn from.
But I would also say they were more educated than the city. I feel like the city folk have like street smarts in the extreme, but like Pere says earlier on in the movie, he can't read. Whereas the villagers have, knowledge of like etiquette and history and whatever, but have no idea how to defend themselves or why they should even need to defend themselves, because isn't the world just a lovely, peaceful, great etiquette place?
Yeah, for sure. It's an odd choice, that kind of world building, but it really comes together in something like this to where, the simple-minded are easily taken over, a la Derek Abernathy, a la any cult leader you can think of at the time, Jim Jones. They did this in many. There's an A-Team plot that did this once, I think, with John Saxon. What was the cult leader?
Yes, that's true.
Collecting these people to do his cult-like bidding.
I'm not even kidding. I think it's called something like so on the nose, like the Children of Jamestown. Like, I think they literally just changed Jones to James. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You're not wrong about that. But yeah, the whole idea that they're easily taken over like that, as far as like being brainwashed, and there's a point in the film where one of the children are drawing a picture in class, and it's like she's drawing her favorite pop star. It's Derek in drawing form saying, "Oh, he's so dreamy, isn't he?" Kind of in a way, and yeah, you're waiting for the whole village to be taken over, but I don't think we ever reached that again, much like in the Final Lines. You really reached that level of like desperation to the point where they never really didn't have the upper hand. I think because of the whole charismatic, Jones and one Bruce Dern, like, hey, bro, everything will be all right, and then everything was all right because they all got together and blew people away in orderly fashion. And Darius Carey, Nitro, our explosives expert and gunfire experts, and just everything comes together in a fine soup in this movie. And I can appreciate everything it stands for in 90 minutes, even when I think stuff is missing that should be there. But none of these films are perfect, and this is one of the better ones in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a really odd ending because two things happen. So first of all, Bruce Dern tests them. He puts an issue in front of them and basically gives them the option he turns the water off, and they're like, well, if the water's not here, why the fuck are we doing any of this? We're just here to steal all the water. And Perret, who's become under the lustful thighs of Catherine Mary Stewart, has decided, well, I'm staying no matter what. I don't care about the water. I'm going to help people. And then slowly, everyone but the aforementioned Alan Autry comes around to the idea and says, okay, they're going to stay. And Bruce Dern is like, you passed the test. So there's things that Dern is hoping will happen when he first hires this gang. And it's starting to happen. They're starting to like the people and like the place and not care so much about the water anymore or the money. They see a redemption path for themselves. And that's a really nice bit. And then at the end of the movie, where you would normally therefore have Michael Perret as the hero, sure, take a bit of a licking, but then get up and fight back. What actually happens is that sort of multiple members of the other team, but specifically X-Line, played by Rick Podell, are the ones that actually take him down. Like, Perret is not the guy who, shows up to, he's not the guy who's going to kill Adamant. It's going to be Rick Podell and Julius Carry and others. So that I felt to be like a really interesting subversion of the normal hero story.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He's kind of like a Jack Burton in that sense, to where, he's not really the hero of this picture. He's just like the face of this picture that shows up. He does some things, but it's not quite as brilliantly written as Big Trouble in Little China, of course, because he's meant to be the foil in Big Trouble in Little China, but just a charismatic foil. But I think that it's the same vibe, same idea. To where he is the person that they need to bring it all together, but not really. That everybody else is kind of like saying, hey, we believe in this charismatic figure, even after, hey, there's that scene in there, made me laugh real hard, but he decided to put a comb through his hair and say, hey, Captain Mary Stewart, what the fuck? He like sits down and he has like a new jacket on and almost like a new attitude.
The plastic flowers.
Oh, yeah.
And he shaved off his dirt stash.
Yes,
he shaved off his little dirt stash, his little hot chocolate dirt stash.
Yeah, all that made me giggle. But it is that charismatic hero that's not the hero in this film. Everybody else is the hero, and I can appreciate Perret not doing much, but like sort of like being the inspiration to make these townspeople great, and of course, take on their oppressor, which is Derek Abernathy III.
Listen, by performing it, giving this movie either a supernatural and or spiritual element, depending on which side of the fence you fall, there is indication at the end of the movie that by showing true human sacrifice and human love, that it potentially, without spoiling the ending altogether, could possibly be the answer to their problems. And so it's interesting because they keep talking about Bruce Dern's character Ethan and Michael Perret's character George Landon. Yes, you have to say both names. they keep talking about them as special. They keep saying like, strange occurrences keep happening around us, or we're particularly tuned in to the great waves of the aura of the universe or whatever. I have no idea. But Bruce Dern sees his town renewed and his town saved. He sees that once terrible thieves, crooks, lies, and cheats have been turned into upstanding mass murderers of their own community, and and because of that, Bruce Dern is like, well, I'm off. I'm going to go commit like a Viking funeral. Like, what's he doing? He's sitting in a teepee and setting it on fire, right? Gary?
He's like, yes, my work is done here. And said, let me go commit suicide, so 10-1 has somebody else to eat,
He's like, I'm going to set fire to myself. So fuck 10-1.
This is how wasteland jerky is made, people, okay?
Yeah, and he's like, you're not making any wasteland jerky out of me. And the Lord or Cthulhu or whatever spirit you believe in said, it's okay, one human flame torch is enough. I will put out your flames. And that's and we'll do a cheesy freeze frame of Bruce Dern at the end of the movie. That was fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
He got paid in so many drugs for this movie.
So many drugs. But no, that's one of the big strengths of this film is the charisma and the chemistry of your core cast members, and you don't get that in a lot of post-apocalyptic films. You get that here in spades, but you don't get that in 80% of these, and that's a shame, really, if you think about it, because you need that sense of community in this film that you get to, where you don't really get that in Warriors of, what is that called, the 2025, or I forget what it's called.
Oh, dude, there's like 84 Warrior movies. Hang on a second. You've got Exterminators of the Year 3000, but then you've got Warriors of the Year 2072.
Oh, I'm thinking of Texas Gladiators 2020, I think.
Yeah, you've got 2020 Texas Gladiators. You've got Warriors of the Wasteland. You've got Warriors of the 21st Century. You've got 1990 The Bronx Warriors.
Yep.
And then you've got we've got The Warriors. I know that's not, but and then you've got Warrior of the Lost World.
Oh yeah, there's so many just with that word in the title. There's so many of them.
I know, right? But I'm okay with that, dude. I'm okay with it. Just let it happen. Let it wash over you.
This one did that, without the ray guns they have in Texas Gladiators 2020, though. So yeah, there's that. It's a lot of physical stuff, a lot of real deal explosions and squibs and stuff, and no squibs. They didn't have any guns. They really didn't have any guns in this movie. It's just a lot of explosions from wherever they got these explosives from.
They do have guns. They shoot a bunch of people.
Oh yes, they do have guns. Yes. You get some real stuff there too.
Yeah, and I mean, Abernathy's people just show up. They all look like something out of George Romero's The Crazies. They're all wearing like white hazmat suits, right?
And they're all coming in peace too. And I'd imagine if this guy was as big shit as it was in their wasteland community, at least a couple of them would know who he was. As far as like, hey, this is that guy that steals people. Why let him into our village where we have this hot commodity of water available, but they just let him in and he does his thing. But, it's not really established that anybody knew who this man was. He must be new Kingfish of the wasteland. I don't know. But yeah, he does have guns. But yeah, that those are fun. That the explosions are fun. Julius Carey, just going ham on everything, whilst wearing the purple dildo outfit. It's like he wears an outfit like that, but you believe that he's a badass. And that's really hard.
But where is he smuggling his smoke bombs in an outfit like that? He keeps running around throwing like magician smoke bombs on the ground, but like, where's he smuggling that shit? Because I can see every fucking line of his ridiculous physique.
Yeah, he doesn't have a satchel or anything, so I'd imagine, these were homemade devices of the village. I couldn't tell you for sure. They just show up in his hands and he's, mugging for the camera, and I love it so much.
Yeah, I'm all about this movie, dude. This movie was fantastic. It had everything in it that I wanted it to have in it, and it makes pathetic little sad boys on the internet get all upset and have to give it, 4 stars out of 10. Well, I give it 8.5 out of 10. I give it 4 out of 5.
Oh yeah. I'd say for 4 out of 5. Keeper for sure.
Come on, Shout Factory, give us a fucking Blu-ray. What's going on? Come on, Arrow, give us a Blu-ray. Come on now.
It needs to be with this genre cast. It's tailor made for a big release because mostly, the Dernsey's still alive. Yeah, all these people are pretty much still alive, except for with the exception of Julius Carey.
Dude, Paray would do a commentary tomorrow. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, for the said carton of unfiltered camels, he'd do the commentary. Or Paray be working though, man. He might not have time to do the commentary for this.
Just give Dern, another. Give him the keys to a dispensary. Just be like, whatever you can take in 24 hours, it's yours, Derny, old boy. And then come do the commentary or making of, or just sit there and growl in the corner. Whatever it is, whatever Tarantino pays you, we'll pay you that.
He's got storytelling abilities. I listened to him on podcasts before where he just goes ham on, past experiences. And one of my favorite Dern stories ever is still the Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte one where they fired Joan Crawford and Betty Davis looks her stone in the face when Olivia de Havilland is sitting in her chair and she says, Olivia, what are you doing here? It's like she something about she's your replacement, you cunt, because of course they hated each other, Betty Davis and Joan Crawford, and it's in the mouth of Bruce Dern coming out of that was it's a pretty spectacular story because Bruce
one talks like Bruce Dern.
Yeah, Bruce is there for the whole thing. Yeah, and just I'm sure he has some stories about this movie though, as far as like the insanity of it and.
Sure, he's got 1,000 stories. You kidding me? About Julius Carey alone, probably.
I just don't know if he's as good as Lance Henriksen, who Lance is 80-something years old now. If you haven't met him at a convention or been to a Lance panel, you need to do that because that's one of those guys that still remembers every project he was in, can tell you a story about every project that he was in, and just tells it all. So,
Can you tell me all about Delta Heat with Anthony Edwards?
Oh, I'm sure he could. I'm sure he could tell you something. Yeah.
But no, Bruce Dern in this movie, I'm pretty sure, I'm surprised more people don't do a Bruce Dern impression because he's very close to Walken in having one of the most distinctive voices in movies. And you really need to dial into it, but when you do, it just keeps on giving. The opening monologue, it doesn't he at one point it goes, well, of course we fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's amazing. I mean, I'm here for Dern all the way. In fact, I need to watch 20 other Dern movies in the next week.
The dirty hippie Mako, just telling the tale of this wasteland where it's not really a wasteland because they have access to the water at this little teeny tiny camp,
Yeah, I mean, what is it that they're living without? They haven't figured out beds yet. They're all just sleeping in cars.
I mean, you got Tenwa teaching them how they art of making beef jerky and how to make shitty booze. That brings it all together. Now they have booze and beef jerky made out of human remains.
Right, but they all know how to drive, but they don't know how to just make a bed. They're just like, wow, we'll just sleep in the cars. Yeah, but I don't know. Don't you want a bed or a house or something like that? Well, we're just going to sleep in the cars. Well, okay. I mean, I understand, but don't you want to build? No, we're just going to sleep in the cars. And then, of course, when they use the cars as a wall, they're all like, well, we were sleeping in them. We'll figure out beds. Come on. You figured out guns and cars. You can figure out beds. Come on, people. Figure it out.
They might have figured out a ladder by now to climb up all those charred cars to go sleep in, but, one guy gets out of hand, he could be blowing up those cars, and then they all crash down. But they have water and beef jerky and shitty booze, so they're They're living the good life, you know.
Yeah, why is he using like garbage vegetables and stuff? Why is he not just like using the water or whatever?
It goes like what do you make, gin with potatoes? I forget what you would use potatoes for to make liquor with.
Vodka.
Yeah, you're making the potato vodka.
Right.
I guess he's going with that. Like, hey, you can use shitty vegetables to make some semi-tolerable booze. You know?
Yeah, but he's lacing it with fucking lube oils.
Lube oil and formaldehyde, and you know, I love to see 10 watts toilet wine making skills.
I was just watching the other day, dude. Let's Go to Prison with Will Arnett and
underrated. Yeah.
Dude, the toilet wine bit, the fact that by the end of the movie they're trying to go legit with piss wine. And they've got all these people standing around tasting piss wine. That was amazing.
Yeah,
that was fucking phenomenal.
It's an underrated comedy, in my opinion. Yes. But final thoughts about World Gone Wild, sir. Go for it, man.
Oh, dude, like I said, whenever you go down a rabbit hole, you find gems. We're hitting some gems right off the bat, and why not? Pare is a giver. He's a grower and a shower. So you know, to my way of thinking, we're just going to keep. It's not, you know, we're not going to. It's not everything is going to be aces, but I think we're going to be getting a few more darts in the dartboard than I was expecting. So I'm very happy about that. And yeah, I mean, I just pretty much loved everything about it. It did everything that I wished a movie like Cyborg or Radioactive Dreams or something like that would do, but doesn't. It does all of those good things, and then it builds on the legacy of you know, some Warrior of the Lost World and Raiders of Atlantis and things like that. Just fucking fun, cheesy, weird, wonderful post-apocalyptic B movies. I think you could put this and Final Alliance together and make Adamant and John Saxon play some kind of like Quato being that was sort of an albino Quato with Adamant coming out of...
Who would come out of his belly, I was going to ask, you know?
John Saxon's belly. And they're all just like, we want a fucking church or whatever. And they're all... And then all you would have to do is add to this village Hasselhoff, who, to be fair, in Final Alliance, what he's wearing would not look out of place in this town, and his mountain lion. You know what I mean? And you could put it all together and make one glorious movie. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah. Adamant Kawatu, that would explain John Saxon's gut, that movie, because it's just got to hang out, you know.
It's just got to hang it out. And look, I don't mind that. No one's body shaming anyone here. I'm just saying that it's hilarious for a villain who's going up. Oh, can we also talk quickly about the fact that in Final Alliance, they make David Hasselhoff look 8 foot tall in every single scene. He's on, like, yes, he's a tall guy, but like in every scene, they've either cast people who are half his height or he's standing on milk crates, because there are some scenes in this movie where they make David Hasselhoff look 8 feet tall. But yeah, anyway, I feel like you could put the movies together. It'd be fantastic. And John Saxon, we're not body shaming you. We just thought it was hilarious that up against an 8 foot tall mountain lion wielding David Hasselhoff, they put a slightly paunchy albino in a sidecar.
I have a better reason why Saxon would be riding bitch. Now reverse situation and make fucking Saxon, albino Saxon, the ghost, into a Belial, and then he rides in the sidecar while Adamant drives, and then you know,
I'll accept that. Yeah,
they turn Basket Case into a road movie in the post-apocalyptic era, and then you know, these things are writing themselves. People is all I'm saying. You know.
Yeah, I'm saying no, but we picked two movies that fit very well together. We picked two movies that were tons of fun. Two movies that knew how to keep the money on the screen, so to speak. And I had a great time, man. I was happy through both the films. It gave us tons of great stuff to talk about, tons of great comedy. Yeah, A+ for this one, man. Real happy.
Cool. Yeah. I great time as well, and this is where we'll close out this one. I'm very very happy to do this with you, John. And what's happening at the diner, man? Anything amazing?
So we've got the episode out that we recorded back in October now, but with the episode that went out, which is the first official Michael Pare in the Pare Way episode, that is up right now. There will be another episode with our friend Matt Perea coming up at some point. We have got, as I said, the Hammer Horror book on the website. Go over to aftermoviediner.com. We are doing a VHS pick of the week Instagram as part of our Be Kind movie vault with our friend Scotty Toombs, who is the Analog Basement. This is on Instagram, and every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, we go live to do our VHS picks of the week. Oh. It's sort of a physical media / Analog Basement / kind of vintage hangout bit between me and my brother Scotty Toombs. So we're doing that on Wednesday nights, and that's through Be Kind Movie Vault, which is my video shop that I run here in New Milford, Connecticut. That's about everything, Gary, I've got going on. You can find me wherever the words After Movie and Diner are all put together, on the grams, on the books, and on aftermoviediner.com, and on all your podcast appage.
Yes, and this is all very important because to hear every In the Pare Way episode, you have to follow both of us. Patreon, if you want to, help us out. You get those episodes earlier than normal. If not, go the regular way. Either way, support us both.
Either way,
yes,
Michael Pare.
Either way, Michael Pare, In the Pare Way. Just give us mugs to everybody.
But that's important. Do support. So if you can do Patreon, do $1 an episode. That's phenomenal. My show, After Movie Diner, I put about one episode a month, so it's not breaking the bank. It's like $1 a month. And you can even set it to just be $1 a month. So support on Patreon. And if you can't do that, please believe that when you share, like, comment, all of which costs you nothing, by the way. When you do that, you might not understand this, but it helps people find the shows way more than you ever think it would. So if you see something, don't care about curating your timeline. Just share, like, comment. Anything you see from Cinema Beef or After Movie Diner.
Yep. What John said, the support is much appreciated. And on Legion Patreon, that's patreon.com/Legion Podcast. You can find some good bonus stuff on there, including Court's Cinema Psyops, pirate radio edit shows where he puts the music in there that he can't put normally on the regular episodes, because podcasters make $1 million when they're independent people. You can't put songs on there, you might die or something. But yeah, the bonus episodes of Last Call of Torchies, which is the Walter Hill show, you find those on there. None of them have been released to the regular feed yet, but maybe I might dump one, have Kevin dump one on YouTube. The very first episode we did, I think I'm gonna start doing that soon, which was Nicholas Winding Refn's Drive. We did that for the very first bonus episode. So maybe look for that on the YouTube channel. Again, go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go follow us on all of your socials. But yeah, next In the Pare Way, we're not 100% sure we're doing, so I want to announce it here. But that one will be on the After Movie Diner feed. So if you haven't done it yet, go subscribe to them and go.
Well, we know the Parade film we'll be doing, I think, right?
Yes, yeah. We're doing Into the Sun for the Parade film, but I'm not sure about the VHS Jam. John's got a cachet list somewhere that I'm looking forward to what he picks to go with the Parade Jam. And this is good time, sir. This is healthy for the both of us, I think. Oh,
100%, very healthy, loving it.
Well, this is where we'll leave you, in the Pare Way, with your bellies hanging low, and possibly with her genitals, perhaps, maybe, to say this has been the Cinema Beef Podcast, where if you've got beef, we've got the grinder. See you next time.